Hey y'all, Phil here with Dork Camera, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Warhammer Armies project Wood Elf Army book. Pretty cool looking art here. By the way, guys, I appreciate anybody that comments on my videos. I'm going to show y'all something here because I am trying to do this, but I did. By the way, I do appreciate any comments as long as they're positive, not you know bullshit. So Christopher Vanderberg here says, "Hey, I'm not a YouTuber, blah blah blah, or don't know anything about YouTube, but you can do like something PowerPoint." I'm not quite there yet, to be honest, guys. I have kind of a older computer because my new computer crapped out on me. I haven't fixed it yet, but I am going to try to, cut down how long these videos are because they're getting to be, as you can see from this last one, an hour and 40 minutes. So let's see if we can condense those a little bit. I'm not sure how we're going to start off with that. I just have some things I'll try out in this video. We'll see how it goes in the future. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the Army special rules, and I might try things just a little bit different. All right, y'all. So one thing I'm doing to speed things up is I'm going to read all this stuff beforehand. That way, when I go back over them, it's a little better because sometimes or a little faster at least. Sometimes I take a while to understand these things. Now I understand them. So, for instance, Elven Grace is one of the Army special rules. It's basically a 6-hit dodge unless the enemy gets to attack before them. Maybe that's initiative, or maybe that's always strike first, or some other thing like that. Maybe a magical thing. Then we have Blessings of the Ancients. This is really nice because basically the wizard gets to add +1 to casts and dispels if they're within 6 inches of a forest. We have Forest Spirit next, which is basically gives the model fear. Forest Strider, where they can move through the forest without any, as if it's open terrain or whatever. They have magical text, immune to psychology, and they have a 5+ ward save, unless it's magic, whereas it's a 6+ ward save. And they can only be joined by other forest spirits. Okay, so can't be anything else. Yeah, that's when it comes to characters. All right, then we have Ambush from the World Roots. Basically, as a Wood Elf army, you get to place a 12, no more than 12 inches diameter woods on your side of the board. If it can't fit for whatever reasons, after displacing some terrain, if I'm reading that right, you can't use it. But basically, yeah, you get to put a woods, which is going to come in handy with like this +1 to cast and dispel. Okay, I think a lot of this stuff is from 8th edition, so it's cool. And the Astride Longbows, who just has armor piercing rule if you have this bow. Then we have the Astride Archery, so models with this special rule. They don't suffer -1 to for moving and shooting, so that's going to be good for like fast cavalry or really for anything, really. So you can move and shoot and be good for your archer as well. And then we have enchanted arrows, which is a magical attack, right? We have arcane bodkins, which is armor piercing 1. It's basically -1 to your armor save. We have hogbane tips, which is a poison attack special. That all that means is that you get +1 to wound. Not like before, where 6s on the hit equal an automatic wound. We have Starfire Shaft, which I don't remember, but I don't think this one was in 8th edition. Like I said before in some of my other videos, guys, I'm really not an 8th edition. I didn't really play a lot of 8th edition, to be honest. I played mostly 6th and 7th. I was confusing 7th edition with 8th edition for some reason. But I guess these things happen. But anyways, enemies, uh, it forces enemies to reroll panic tests if they cause ban. So that's kind of nice if you're trying to, like make stuff run off the board. Pretty good against low leadership stuff. We have Swift Shiver Shards, which is a good little tongue twister, and you can fire multiple shots even when moving that turn. Allow the model to fire multiple even when moving that turn. Okay, all right. We have True Flight. What does this mean? You can allow the model to fire multiple shots even when moving that turn. I don't understand why you. Now this one, I thought I had it down, but I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to fire multiple shots when moving that turn. It would just be the -1. Maybe y'all can help me with this one. It seems like I didn't really understand that one, but that's the only one. Then we have True Flight Arrows, which basically ignores cover. All right, y'all. So one more thing I wanted to add in here before I move on to the Noble is which enchanted arrows I would pick. I know a lot of this stuff is going to be situational depending on what army you get. For instance, we have the shooting attacks made with arcane bodkins or armor piercing. Um, but that might not be so good against something that doesn't have a high armor save, or yeah. I mean, I guess if they have an armor save at all, it'll negate it, but yeah, I just would rather take something else, right? So for instance, if I have something with low armor save, I'd rather just be able to, maybe if they have low leadership, I might take something like this, right? But let's say that that's a given, right? Let's say that you just want to have the best thing for whatever you go against. I would say maybe ignores cover. I'd say probably, you know what? This one, I said it earlier, I just don't understand how that helps. Maybe y'all can let me know, but I think I would probably take. I really like, you know what? I would probably take this poison attack, so +1 to wound, because maybe you're going against a monster, it takes 6s to wound, but you'll be wounded on 5s. That could really make a difference. Maybe you have a character that's on their own or something, or maybe you have something that's on its own that you could shoot at that would, be +1 to wound. Instead of 6s, you're going to be wounded on 5s. That's just a big deal. So I'd probably take that. I don't know. Just my initial thoughts. You can let me know what you think below. All right, y'all. So let's get to the highborn here. We got a Glade Lord and a Glade Captain, basically male Lord, male hero, that sort of deal. Pretty standard stuff. Weapon skill 7, movement 5, strength 4, toughness 3. Good old elves. Elves are just so weak, or on their toughness, better yet. 4 attacks, 3 attacks on the other guy, leadership 10, leadership 9, respectively. We have the Asrai archery, so basically they would have that thing where they can move and shoot without penalty. Elven Grace, 6 of dodge, and they have Forest Strider, which is good for that. You know what? I am going to start doing one thing I forget about once I get to it and down to the points is how many points these guys are, especially with like the characters and such. So, and what units I like. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that right now and see what options we have with the Highborn, which probably are going to be things that are, pretty standard. But let's do that and let's make that a habit now. All right, here we are, Glade Lord. You can give him additional hand weapon, blah blah blah, whatever. Spear, great weapon, 8 points. Here we go. So we got light armor, not great. Shield, that's a 5-up save. You're gonna have to give him some more stuff or some kind of armor. We'll check the magic stuff here in a little while, but the Hagbane tips, that's 3 points. To get poison, +1 on your poison attacks for your shooting. Not too bad. If it was a lord, I don't know if I would necessarily do a bow. I'd probably want to take a magic one either on the lord. I know they have like the Hail of Doom arrow or whatever, which is like 3d6 shots or whatever the hell. Strength 4. I mean, that's just a solid item unless you get 3 ones. But still worth taking. But yeah, I think with a lord, just kind of depends. We'll take a look at more of these things, but 120 points, pretty standard stuff. I mean, you probably take a Elven Steed if you put him in some guys, maybe a Great Eagle. I don't know. I don't think you would want to do that, but I hear the Forest Dragons are pretty good. We'll take a look at that and we'll take a look at the points. But for now, 120 points. Let's keep it going. By the way, we won't really worry too much about the Glade Captain at this moment. It's pretty standard. It's probably going to be like 80 points. Okay. Next, we got Spell Singers. Spell Singers. Let's see what we got here. Spell Singers Blessing of the Ancients, so they get that +1 when they're within 6 inches of the forest. Elven Grace, 6-up dodge save, and have Forest Strider as well. Strength 3, toughness 3, pretty standard stuff. Spell Singers the same. So let's take a look at how many points they are real quick. By the way, guys, just because I saw it right here, Glade Captain only 55 points. I don't know why I thought that would be 80. Then I guess 25 for BSB, so it's 80 with the BSB, so it still ends up being 80. Spellweaver's 185 points, pretty pricey. It's a level 3 wizard. Elven Grace, Forest Strider. But you know what though? When they have that blessing of whatever the hell, I forget. They're gonna be basically have an earthing rod, so pretty solid. Make him a level 4. That's what, another 1,500 to 220 points. But you definitely got to take care of them. And what's really nice about this army is that you can take Lord of Beast, Lord of Life, and Athel Loren. I don't know, or I don't remember much about Athel Loren, but I know Beast is pretty awesome. Light is pretty brutal, but I would say Beast is pretty crazy because of that Wyson's wild form. Heavens can be kind of scary with that comet, but I forget some of the new spells if they have any. I don't know. I don't ever play them, so I'm not really sure. But either way, that's what you got when you have the Spellweaver. All right, so next we got the Arch Revenants, which this is kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what they are. So the Arch Revenant, I guess it's just a forest spirit, right? But they have movement 5, only weapon skill 6, but this is more like a hero type thing. They are strength 4, toughness 3, but they have 4 attacks. So they have Lord statistics, but only 2 wounds. Leadership 9, so basically hero leadership, but they fly. 10, and then they have a Force Spirit, they have Elven Grace, so 6-up ward save. And then here's this interesting, they have Call to Battle all friendly units with the Force Spirit special Rule within 6 inches, gain the frenzy special rule as long as they remain within that range. I don't know if that's good or bad, but y'all can let me know what y'all think about them. Right, so here's the Arch Revenant. So it's a hero worth 120 points, so just as much as a lord. That's kind of rough. I mean, they do have 4 attacks, and they are using a pole arm. So this is interesting. They have a pole arm, which requires two hands, but they have a shield, so which will help them out in shooting. They have that call to battle, the fly, whatever. So I mean, they can be kind of. That just seems a little bit high. I mean, they have a 6-up ward save in close combat. You can take some magic items that can help them, but I mean, it's a decent little hero for 120 points, but you'll have to add some kind of stuff to them. They can fly, so they can be kind of pesky, I think. I don't know what they are. I guess they just have wings. So it's just a force spirit with wings. Um, so I guess, oh, you know what? Force spirit, it's a 5-up ward save, right? My mistake. It's a 5-up ward save that turns to a 6-up in close combat. Oh, no, so it turns to a 6-up if they have. I'm already forgetting the rules, even though I just looked at it. So it's a 5-up word save, but 6-up against shooting attacks. That's what it is, right? So yeah, I mean they have a 5-up word save, not bad. Maybe you can do something to make that a little bit better, or to give them some armor or something like that. Um, so yeah, so we can look at the spites total. We'll see what that's up to. So take a look at that spites, whatever that is. I'm not too familiar with Wood Elves. I've played them like once or twice. They were kind of fun, but I got my ass whooped. That's just because my buddy's better than me. So right now, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the pole arm does give him strength 5, so that's kind of sweet. So it has strength 5, wounding things, most things on 2 or at least 3s, right? And yeah, that's it. So I don't know. Maybe worth experimenting with them. Maybe you could take a bow. I mean, they have decent ballistic skills. I don't know. We'll see. I think they're okay, but a little too expensive. All right, so next up we got the Glade Guard. The Glade Guard are, basically just archers. They have the Osrai Archery rule, which gives them lets them not have a move and shoot penalty. Elven Grace, Forest Strider, so 6-up dodge, and move to the forest without any kind of craziness. Okay, so here's the Glade Guard, 12 points per model, pretty expensive. Standard L stats, strength 5, or movement 5, weapon skill 4, strength, toughness 3, ballistic skill 4. Basic stuff, kind of expensive to make a full command, 10 points a pop for champion, musician, standard bearer, not 5 points for the musician. They can have a standard of 25 points. I'm not sure why you would take one, but maybe it's worth it. I don't know. And you have to have 10 plus of them, so you can't have 5 of them or something like that. Silly, which that's cool. Now the entire unit can take arcane Balkans. I would probably take some of these with. Here's one thing that I'm not sure of. Okay, so they do have the Asai longbow, right? And y'all can let me know in the comments below. This is armor piercing. If you double it up with arcane bodkins, I'm guessing you would have armor piercing too. What other reason would you upgrade to that? Right. So basically, it'd be like guns, right? Like basically, it wouldn't be strength 3. It's strength 4, but you'd have strength 3 bows, as far as I know. Because as far as I know, a longbow is to strength 3, but you'd have -1 to the or -2 to the armor save because it has armor piercing 2. Let me know in the comments if that's true or not, or I'm not really sure. I don't know. That's my interpretation. Then we have Hagbane Tips, which is +1 to wound. Like I said, I kind of like that. I still don't know the reason for the Swift Shiver Shards. Although I do have an idea. On the Swift Shiver Shards, you know, uh, enchanted arrows, I'm guessing that maybe. Does that mean that like models that can like march and shoot, like for instance, fast cavalry, or I guess scouts can as well, if I'm not mistaken? Does that mean they can still fire their multiple shots, whereas other models can't? I'm still pretty confused about that one. But anyways, Blade Guard, pretty good, but still pretty expensive, like anything else in this army so far. All right, next up we got Deepwood Scouts, which are basically just scouts, movement 5, ballistic skill 4, 5 for the champion, strength toughness 3, initiative 5, leadership 8. They have Astrai Archery, so basically they don't suffer -1 for shooting, so that's kind of nice. You're basically going to hit a lot of stuff on either 3s or 2s or whatever. You basically are scouts, skirmishers, forest striders, so all that's same stuff. Elven Grey 6-up ward save. All right, we got Deepwood Scouts, 14 points per model, pretty pricey. I mean, you could do some damage with them. You can, upgrade them 30 points, but still, you have to have 10 of them. So you have to have 10 plus. That means the minimum is 10 of them. That's kind of expensive, y'all. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty pricey. Uh, Before you could have 5 back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's pretty pricey. Um, so with that being said, you could give them. I don't know. They don't. They do have the longbow, so they do have armor piercing. So I don't know. I think I would probably take the +1 or the Hagbane tips at 3 points per model. I mean, that's expensive, but sheesh. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so, because then you could probably mess up some war machines or some monsters. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking that way. I don't know if I'm right on that, but just my initial thoughts on that. All right, next up is Glade Riders. Glade Riders are basically fast cavalry, if I'm right, if I believe so. If I'm right, fast cavalry, Asrai archery, forest strider, basically basic elf stats along with the ballistic skill. So they're just basically what do you call them? Glade guard on the horses. The horses actually move 9, so they march 18. Glade Riders. Okay, here we go. Glade Riders, 17 points per model. This is page 179. Yep. So pretty basic stuff. Let's see. 25 points to add to command. You can have a magic standard. You can give them light armor for. Oh, okay. 5 points per model. So that'd be 22 points. Just tough. 22 points to give them a 6-up armor save. I. I mean, if you give them, they give a 5-up if you give them, 2 points per model extra. So you're talking, man. So that's 23 points per model. If you're going to give them a 5-up armor save, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just write them as is. And I mean, it is what it is. Maybe the Swift Shiver Charge would be good for them. I don't really know. So they can march and double shoot and not get. I don't know. I'm still confused. If not, otherwise I just take the Hagbane tips. Unless you're going, against this army with a high armor save, then maybe give them the Arcane Bodkins for the only one more point, you get to -1 more to the armor save. So not bad. If I'm, reading that right. So not pretty expensive, but I'm sure they're going to be worth their points, though, because they probably do some damage, or at least they'll have to pay so much attention to them. So I probably take them as is, and then give them the Arcane Bodkins, or maybe the Hagbane tips or something like that, and probably give them a musician at the very least. That way they're not too expensive. 17 times 5, whatever the hell that is, like 85 points, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I would definitely take at least 1, maybe 2 units. I don't know. That's kind of pricey. At least a unit, just to harass some war machines or some smaller guys, or at least take some attention away from other stuff. I don't really know how to play Wood Elves the best, so maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. All right, y'all. Next up is the Eternal Guard. Let's see what these guys are all about. Eternal Guard are movement 5, basic Elven stats. I'm sure they have some kind of. Well, they do have stubborn, so they have Elven Grace, Force Stride, and they have stubborn. And other than that, they have basic Elven stats. But they are leadership 9, so higher leadership, stubborn, so they can hold their own a little bit. They probably, let's see what we got here. A Wraith. This is something specific to them. Wraith can either be used as a normal spear or a spear stave. Follows the normal rules for a spear, but requires 2 hands and +1 attack, and adds +1 attack. So basically, they're going to be at 2 attacks each. So that's kind of interesting. You may choose which fighting style you want to use at the start of each round of close combat. So you can either fight in 3 ranks or get an extra attack from the front rank, which I don't understand what the difference would be. I guess maybe you take a horde of them. I guess I don't know, which would be expensive as shit. So I don't know. Y'all can let me know what y'all think about that one. I guess the normal spear does give you +1 strength on the charge, I guess, right? So um, but then the spear stave is the same thing. So, but it requires 2 hands and adds 1 attack. I really don't know which one I would use. I'd probably just have depends how many you have in the front rank, I guess, because you can only have +1 additional attack from the back rank, right? So whatever. I mean, let's say you have 5 guys in the front. That's 10 attacks plus another 5 from that. That's 15 attacks, right? Plus a champion, 16 attacks. Whereas if you go 3 rows in, it's still 16 attacks. I just don't understand the difference there. Okay, Eternal Guard. They are 11 points per model, so a little cheaper than the regular Glade Guard. And they have Stubborn, so not too bad. 30 points to do full command, and then you can have a magic standard worth up to 50 points. The entire unit may take shield, so you'll have light armor and that, so you get a 5-up armor save plus a 6-up ward save. So there's that, and Stubborn. I mean, for 12 points, I mean, these guys are they're gonna hold their own. I don't know if they're the best one. Maybe you could add something with the magic standard that will help. Maybe +1 leadership. Yeah, put them at leadership 10, so they'll be stubborn 10. Just something to think about. I'm still kind of confused by this Sarath thing, what the benefit is of using the spear stave over the spears. Maybe it's that you can attack and, because I don't see the point, unless you're like wider. I really don't see. It seems like I don't really see what it is. You get 2 attacks in the front rank. Let's say you're 5 wide or I don't know 6 wide. That's still 12 from the front, and then 6 from the back. There's still 19 attacks, right? I don't see the difference between that and fighting in 3 ranks. So 3 ranks of 6 wide. That's gonna be 18, 19. I don't see the difference. So y'all can let me know. Guys, after looking at this Sareth one more time, so I guess if you get flanked, you'll have 2 attacks to the side. So there's that. So that's one benefit I can think of. But straightforward, I don't see. Or if you get flanked or rear charge, I guess I can see the benefit in having extra attacks. But they're still going to be strength 3, So maybe you could take an armor piercing banner or something like that. That may help or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather take the leadership banner, which gives you +1 if you have that, or something like that, or put a character in there. I don't know, whatever's better. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, they seem okay for the points worth or whatever. But I think in the past these guys were better. Now, if they were unbreakable, that'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, 5-up. I mean, I would give them the 5-up armor save. All right, so next we got Wildwood Rangers. Wildwood Rangers are pretty. Oh, strength 4, toughness 3, leadership 9, weapon skill 5. So that's kind of not bad. Movement 5, pretty normal. These guys have Elven Grace, Force Strider, and they're immune to psychology, so fear won't screw with them. We have Guardians of the Wildwood, so a model with this special rule and base contact with one enemy that causes fear or terror. It has +1 attack, so pretty good against maybe like monstrous infantry or undead or something that causes fear and that kind of deal. So, and they're immune to psychology, so they'll stick around. They are strength 4, but they got they're made of glass. Toughness, they like any elf. The Wildwood Rangers, 13 points for model. You have to have 10 plus. They have a great weapon, so they're going to be at strength 6. They have light armor, so it gives them 6-up armor save. They are immune to psychology, so yeah, they'll be messing some stuff up. At strength 6. They're not quite like executioners or something like that, or something else, or Phoenix Guard or anything like that. Something like the other elves, 30 points to get full command. You can give them a magic standard to make them a little bit better, but still pretty pricey. 10 of them is 130 points, 160 points, and then you give them a banner. That's only for 10 of them, y'all. So 320 for 20 of them. That's pretty pricey, but they could mess up stuff up, and that's true. And they're immune to psychology, so there's that. But yeah, 6-up armor save. I mean, they're gonna get mulched up by shooting. Most of the stuff is going to get mulched up by shooting. I don't for spending so as much as you are on them, you're going to get mulched up by shooting if you don't do something about it. So far, I'm not seeing a lot I like. I'm going to be honest, guys. Maybe there's characters or special characters that can help with this, or banners or magic, but so far, just on its own, it's looking kind of rough for the wood people. All right, y'all. Next up, we got War Dancers. War Dancers have a few things here. And I know I said I was going to read this, but I'm forgetting to read some of these. That's okay. So special rules, they are skirmishers. The ward save is 6+. They are a Force Strider. It looks like they're not a Force Spirit, otherwise they'd have that 5-up ward save. All right, y'all. So after doing a little bit of investigating, I see that it makes sense. The Shadow Dancer is in fact a character, which makes sense because look at these stats. That's a character. And then they're a wizard, lower shadow. We'll see if they can upgrade or whatever. But for now, let's take a look at these War Dancers. And there was a little bit of a typo here. So I noticed that here in the special rules, they have this here, but they don't have it up here in the special rules, which I guess is included. I had a little thing where I was like, well, these dances are not included in the special rules, but they are here. So is it just and then they are included here, right? So I was like, well, does the Shadow Dancer only get it? But no. When I looked at the actual points value, they have the Shadow Dance of Loic in the special rules. So let me tell you what they do. So basically, before any impact hits are done, they can select one of these, but they can't choose the same one twice in a row. I mean, there's one that is better than all of the rest of them. I'll tell you which one. So they do have the Whirling Death, which is armor piercing and killing blow. Pretty cool. Then you have the Storms of Blade, which is +1 attack. Not bad. But then you have the this one, which is the best one, 3-up ward save. So basically, I'll have a 3-up ward save for a round. And then you have always strikes first, which is the Woven Mist. All right. Now you have the Shadow Dancers, who are like ridiculous. Oh, by the way, they are weapon skill 6, initiative 6, strength 3, toughness 3, leadership 8. So I mean, we'll have to look at what kind of weapons you can get, or what that is going to do. Another thing is they are immune to psychology and skirmishers, and have a 6 aboard save, Elven Grace, Force Strider, all that good stuff. But we'll have to see what kind of weapons you can take with them. Now the Shadow Dancers, let's go ahead and do them real quick. They have weapon skill 8, which is ridiculous. Ballistic skill 6, strength 4, toughness 3, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, leadership 8. They know Lore Shadow, which is a good lore. They have the Blessing of the Ancient, so they have that thing where they can get +1 to cast. So this will be good for being close to a forest. Immunity to psychology as well. 6 up ward save. Okay, so War Dancers are 15 points a model. So you do have to have at least 5 of them. So that's good. You don't have to spend too much. They have all those roles. See, here's the Shadow Dance of Loek. You can have a blade singer and a musician, and then you can give them all the spear stave or whatever, which I guess would be good if you, because then like on the charge, at least you'll have +1 strength. So I guess there's that. I would probably do that, I'm guessing, because otherwise they just have 2 hand weapons and you won't get any kind of strength bonus even if you charge. So I would rather have the spear stave, I'm guessing. And I'm guessing since the spear stave is 2 hands, it would just be 1 attack at strength 4 or 2 attacks at strength 3. I'll probably take the. It just depends what you're doing, right? So, the good thing is you can at least select which dance you want to do. So if you're going to charge something that has a unit of characters, and that's good. But here's the thing, though. I mean, you're gonna run into. They have a 6-up ward save and no armor, so they're gonna get shot the hell up. So it's like you have to. I mean, before you can even do your stupid dance, you're gonna get shot up. So I don't even know if it's worth taking, to be honest. Like, very situational, it seems like to me, unless you're in the forest and you have to keep them in the forest. I mean, that's the way to do it, I guess. I mean, you can place a forest, but I just say they're kind of a liability because they're just so easy to kill. I mean, you'd have to take a bigger. They are immune to psychology, so they wouldn't have to like. I have to remember the rules. Like, can they still break? If they're immune to psychology. That means that they're immune to fear and stuff like that. In fact, we should probably take a look at that. Immune to psychology, immunity. So there's different kinds of immunity. So let's look at psychology, because that's going to be different things, right? Models that are immune to psychology. This includes pestilence psychology. They need to take. Okay, so basically, such as spells or take psychology. However, they may never choose to flee, so they can't flee. Except when using flame fight. I'm not really sure. Yeah, so immunity can include panic, fear, and terror. Okay, so they do ignore most of these things. So that's good, but it's just, I don't know. I know immunity psychology is different nowadays. I guess I would take the pole arm, and I'm guessing it would be 2 arms to use it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you swap the hand weapons for 1 of them, so it's 1 string 4 attack. I would take that. It'll be easier to wound, I guess. And then you might do a dance and get an additional attack. I'd rather have 2 string 4 attacks than 1 string 3 attacks, but I just don't see myself taking these. I guess you could, but you'd have to take like 10 or something. I don't know, just so you have enough attacks coming back, but they just seem really pricey. And then you'd have to take a Shadow Dancer. Now let's take a look at the Shadow Dancer as well. Shadow Dancer is 100 points. Okay, so at string 3, toughness 3. It's a wizard. It's like a fighting wizard, which is kind of cool. Can you make it a level 2? Oh, okay. So you have to spend 50 points to make them a level 1 wizard. What's the point of knowing the lore of Shadow? So I don't understand it. So they don't start off as a wizard, and then you can take magic items. So they're going to be 150 points to make them a wizard that can fight. I guess that would be kind of OP if it was like they're already a wizard and they're only 100. You would just take a Shadow Dancer, right? But I guess whatever. It is what it is. And yeah, I guess my other question would be, now it's not a skirmisher, so does, I guess it can join skirmishers, so there's that. But I don't know, man. I think it'd be worth it just to have them in the forest and just kind of cast in some spells, and then maybe leave the Shadow Dancer alone and charge out the War Dancers if need be. But I just don't know if I would take them. All right, guys. So next thing I got up is Way Watchers. Gotta admit, I'm not crazy about much of anything yet. I mean, think the Shadow Dancers are kind of cool. The Revenant's kind of cool. I guess I would say the Revenant's kind of interesting. But yeah. All right, Weight Watchers. I remember when I fought with Wood Elves, these guys were killer because I remember I fought my buddy. He was playing Bretonians. He still beat me, but I got some Weight Watchers right in front of his lord who was on a steed or something, and they had that thing where you could give them ignores armor save, and they killed his lord first round of combat or first round of the game. And I was like, that was awesome, and I still lost, but still, that was pretty awesome because I think I forget if it was a killing blow or I think it was ignore armor save. Like he just got shot up and they ignore an armor save. He only had a 1-up and got murdered right away. So pretty awesome if that's still available. So we have Osrai archery. So basically they get that longbow with armor piercing 1, Elven Grace, 4 Strider, Scout skirmishers. So pretty sweet there. Let's take a look at them. They are Ballistic skill 5 to start off, so they're hitting on 2s. Strength 3, toughness 3. They do have ballistic skill 6 for the leadership 8. Ballistic skill 6 for the champion. Way Watchers are. Oops, let's go back here. 20 points per model. Okay. They have 1 hand weapon. They got all that. Oh, they do have the lethal shot. So that's. Did I miss that? Maybe I missed that. I'm dumb. All right, so lethal shot models with this special rule have the. That's what it must have been. I did a killing blow. So killing blow with missile attacks from their bow. That's pretty awesome. For a stalker, while inside the wood models, the special rule are at an additional -1 to be hit with missile attacks, and they may deploy within 12 inches of enemy if they do so within a wood. Pretty sweet. Upgrade. They have traps. All right, y'all. We'll have to see exactly how much this upgrade is, but I kind of like it. So on a 1 or 2, you roll a d6 for this. Basically, it's an upgrade. We'll have to see how much it's worth. On a d6, a 1 or 2 equals d6 string 3 hits if they are charged, right? Basically, it's like a trap that's set up around them. So, as soon as the enemy touches the forest, so and they have to stay out of the forest or will try to. This isn't a big deal. However, then you have the enemy unit deducts D3 from the charge distance, so that they do try to charge them, and they're half movement in the forest that could affect them. I think they are half movement. Nets. Okay, so they have to pass a strength test or be unable to attack in this ensuing combat. It's pretty brutal. And then it gets worse and worse as you go up. Camouflage pit. Actually, this one might be worse than this one. I would probably take. Actually, that's probably bad because it's automatic. Yeah, because the strength test probably easy. Yeah, strength test. No, you know what? This is a 50-50. This is 33%. And they just die. So 33% they just die. They might have a good armor save. So I'd say this is probably worse. Especially no armor save on this. So basically on a 1 or 2 they fail a dangerous terrain test. So 33% chance of just dying before even getting there. And they have an impaler, which is basically a strength 6 hit with D3 wounds, like a bolt thrower on the front rank. So pretty interesting. We'll have to see how much that is. In fact, let's go check that out. We'll come back to the Waystalkers. We're on page 120. Let's go over to 122, or I'm sorry, 120, 182. That's around where we're at. Nope, close enough. So, Weight Watchers, not to be confused with Weight Watchers. If we could get back here, that'd be nice. Okay, so Weight Watchers, you have to have at least 5, 20 points per model. You can also, aside from having the lethal shot, which is awesome, I really like that. You can make them a sentinel. You can give them additional hand weapons, which just have 2 attacks each. That'll be good for attack and war machines and such. But then there'll be 21 points a model. I would probably give them something like Hagbane tips, 23, and then they could just really, if they're not wounding things right away, at least they already have the armor piercing, so they're going up against one up armor knights. That would depend what you're going against, but generally I would take the Hagbane tips myself. And yeah, you can take the traps for 2 points per model. So 22. Let's say Hagbane tips are 25 points per model. That's 125 points for 5 of them. Yikes, that's expensive, but you could really do some character assassination. I don't think you have to take the traps, but it'd be kind of fun too. All right, so next we have the Waystalkers, which is it says Waystalkers, but it's really just a Weight Watcher hero. Weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 7, so they're going to be hitting on 2s most of anything. They are strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds, leadership 8. They do it's basically the same, except they as See, are they forest stalkers? Yeah, they are forest stalkers too. So they're -1 to hit. So this is like a little. I don't know. This is kind of nice, like an assassin bowman. Check this out. So they also have sniper rules, so they could snipe out some characters. I like this. I like it's probably one of my favorite units so far is the Way Watchers. I liked them before. I like the idea of being able to just snipe out characters. I think that's so cool. They're super expensive. So let's see how much this Way Stalker is. So the Way Stalker is 90 points. Let's see, can you upgrade them at all? I guess you could give them yeah, you could take some points, up to 50 points, and then you can give them Hagbane tips. For I would probably give them two hand weapons, a string 4, not bad. I would probably give him the +1 to where the wound, the Hagbane tip, so 93 points. Maybe take something else, give him a ward save or something. Or something else, maybe give him Sword of Might, something, maybe string 5. I don't know if I took him, But basically, he's there to assassinate characters. But if he runs off the board, then that's kind of rough. So you may want to take, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 Way Watchers. Could be really expensive, but really, really fun, I think, with those snares or traps or whatever. All right, y'all. Now we get to Wild Riders. If I remember, Wild Riders are pretty cool. So, Wild Riders can ride. They're strength 4, and they're toughness 3. Initiative 5, leadership 9. They're basically cavalry. They have a Wild Hunter, which is basically a champion. But then we have an Elven Steed here, which is leadership, not leadership. I'm sorry, movement 9. They even have initiative 4 too. It's kind of nice. But then you have a Steed of Cornos, which is, I guess, that's a stronger steed. That's all. They have devastating charge. Devastating charge, just to make sure, I believe it's +1 strength on the charge. Let's double check that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, +1. Oh, +1 attack. So not +1 charge. So basically, it's 2 attacks or 3 attacks. Better yet, if you have a champion, 2 for the regular guys. So that could be kind of brutal. Here's another thing, though. I believe they have a spear, so you're talking probably strength 5 on the charge, and then you'll have 2 attacks for the regular guys. Let's say you have a unit of 5 with a champion. That's going to be what, 8, uh, 11 attacks, 11 strength 5 attacks, hitting on 3s for the most part because their weapons go 5, and then wounding on 2s. Most things are at least 3s, and they have, one more thing, they have frenzy. So, oh my goodness, these guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is an anvil right here. Of course, they're probably going to suffer from the thing that most of this army suffers, that they don't have a good armor save. So I'm pretty sure that is still the case. So let's double check. I imagine these guys are special. I don't think they're going to be. Let's go check. Wild Riders, 22 points a model. I think this is probably the most bang for your buck, and their army is going to have to pay so much attention to these guys. 25 points to upgrade these guys. You can give them light armor shield. Here's where they suffer right here. Is basically, yeah, and they do have a spear. So they have frenzy. So they have 2 attacks base, 3 with a devastating charge, 4 for the champion. I mean, yeah, these guys are awesome. Like, okay, so you can take and you can take some 2 points per model extra, so 24 points. Okay, let's say 24 points plus armor and shield. You're talking that's another 4, so it's +6 points per model. So let's say 28 points per model. Yikes! Now we start getting pretty darn expensive. But you know what? Forgive me, my chair is loud as hell, y'all. So basically 28. I'm gonna do a little bit of math. 28 times, let's say, just 5 of these guys. You're looking at 140 points, which is pretty good for everything they give you. But you're gonna have a 5 up armor save and 6 up ward save, right? Which is something. I mean, 6 up elven dodge. I guess there's that. It's something. But then you can upgrade. That's if you upgrade him to the steed, right? Then if not, you're looking at 26 points, which is much less. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool because I mean, you have steeds that are hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, and most things, 4s and other things. I mean, they could really do some damage. I don't know if I would necessarily take the other steeds. Maybe taking 2 of these units of 5 or a unit of 10 of them could be kind of good. I mean, these guys, I like this cavalry. This is nice. Of course, second round of combat, you're only at strength 4, but still, if you make your charge, which you have movement 9, you have a pretty good range. You better make damn sure you make your charge. You could even probably, I mean, to make things a little better, maybe you'll take the banner of where you get extra movement. Maybe they have a special banner where you get even more movement, like D3 or something like that. then you could really do some damage with these guys. They'll have, of course, they're going to suffer from the most things, like most things in this army, from shooting. But if they get into combat, their points, how much they cost versus how much they could probably do, it's pretty solid. So I would definitely take me a unit, at least one unit of these. All right, next we got Sisters of the Thorn. It seems like most armies in 8th edition started doing something like this, where they have like these people that can ride together and become like a collective wizards, right? Like together they make up a rank, and they're wizard. Our dark elves have these. I don't know high elves do. I believe they do, but I think other armies do as well. Okay, so these guys are movement 5, ballistic skill 5, 1 attack, leadership 8. They have a steed, and then they have a strong steed, strength 4. Not bad. They have the Osai archery, the blessing of the angels, so they get that +1 near the forest. Fast. They're also fast cavalry. They have a 4-up ward save, and they have poison attacks. Pretty sweet. So basically, these guys they know Shield of Thorns and the Curse of Anor here. Now, Shield of Thorns, I don't remember, to be honest. It's got to be some kind of protection spell or something you can cast. They count as a level 2 wizard, and then they have the Curse of Anor here. If I remember correctly, the curse is where we're gonna look them up, instead of me just speculating. But I'm pretty sure that's where you have like you know what? I'm just gonna look it up because I think I'm remembering wrong. So basically, you get +1 to cast for each rank of five models or more. So let's say you have 3 ranks. That's the most you can get. You have a +3. So you can add a +3 to cast, and this could be something that helps you at least make your opponent have to start using some dispel dice. Okay. Each time a spell is cast, you nominate one sister or handmaiden as a caster for the purpose of line of sight, blah, blah, blah. And then you lose D3 wounds if you miscast, and you don't get any save allowed. So pretty interesting, but again, at least they have a 4-up ward. So there's that. So this is kind of nice. I think this would be a fun unit to take. And let's go see how much they cost. Guys, I said let's go see how much they cost, but let's go look at the magic first. So we said the Curse of Anima here. All right. Curse. All right. 24-inch rage. It's a hex spell. Target suffers -1 to hit, both shooting and close combat until the next magic phase. Here's the kicker. Unit treats all terrain that other than open and impassable, and it's a fail, and they fail the dangerous terrain test on a 1 or 2 rather than a 1. So you can extend this for a 12+. So that is brutal. I'll tell you that right now, because it's basically with that dangerous terrain, you don't get an armor save against that. So it'd be brutal against knights or really anything. Really, if it's a horde, you're going to lose, a third of your army if they move. I mean, that's terrible. That's a fantastic spell. Only a 9 to cast, not for 24 inches. I'd say it's not like super low, but it's not bad. It's pretty solid, because then your opponent has to wait, right? It's no remains of play or nothing like that. Now let's go back and check out the other spell, which was Shield of Thorns from the Lore of Life. So Shield of Thorns is a remains in play spell. It's an augment spell, and at the end of each magic phase, any enemy unit in base contact with the target suffers 2d6 strength 3 hits. So nothing too bad, although it's pretty bad for. This would be good to cast if you charge in or somebody charges you, and they're not they don't have the best armor save. Because at most you might get what? You roll a 7 on 2 dice, maybe you'll get 3 wounds to go through, and then if they have a bad armor save, maybe they'll lose 1 or 2 guys, which could change things around. All right, y'all. So we got the Sisters of the Thorn, which are 24 points per model. A little pricey, but with a 4-up ward, it's kind of nice. Of course, that basically is just a 4-up armor save. Well, whatever. It's a 4-up save that can't be modified. Unless they don't allow you to take more save, whatever. Now they do also have a javelin, and they are ballistic skill 5. So for the most part, they're going to be hitting on 2s. Now let me show you. We'll get into all of this other stuff, but the javelins are 12-inch range. They are armor piercing, and they are strength as users, or strength 3, armor piercing, quick to fire, and volley fire. Now, guys, I think I may have answered something about that swift shiver charge earlier, which is at least I think so. So basically, model control line of sight. Maybe it didn't. You know what? I'm going to shut up about that. I keep trying to decipher it. I'm not right. But volley fire, it can volley fire, so they can fire from the. Oh, you know what it is? I think you're not allowed to. You know what? I'm just gonna shut up about it. Anyhow, so basically they can volley fire. So basically, any unit with this rule, weapons with this rule, allow units to fire within anybody within range. So if you're within 12 inches, you should be able to fire even from the back rank. Is what I'm getting at it. Um, would that mean that it's even if they are 3 ranks back, 2 ranks back? I don't know about that one. So I guess as long as you're in wind range, you can volley fire. So that's kind of interesting. Then you're quick to fire. Now, quick to fire is kind of an interesting rule because basically you can always stand and shoot, no -1 for a standing shoot. But furthermore, you can also declare a charge and shoot on the way in. It is -1 to hit, but even if you fail it, you still shoot. That's kind of cool. All right, so they are 24 points per model. They are they got the archery, the blessing, the force strider, blah blah blah, poison attacks, all this cool stuff. Yeah, you can upgrade in full command for 25 points. You can have a magic standard of 50 points. Okay, and maybe it's something that can help them out. But I like this. I like this unit. The 4-up save compared to the rest of the army, which has a 5-up save, and it's something that can be modified once strength or armor piercing comes into play. This is kind of nice. I mean, they probably can't really hold their own in combat, but I would just get them and cast the shit out of the Curse of Anri here, which is 24-inch range, which is pretty good range. Put them in a forest or something like that, and they're kind of hard to hit. And if somebody comes close, you can charge out of the forest, right? I mean, they got great movement, and they got a pretty awesome ward save, which helps them for for missile attacks or for whatever magic spells, that sort of deal. So I like this unit. I really do. I'm not sure. I really like the Way Watchers, and I really like these. So these are probably my 2 favorite units so far. It's the Way Watchers and then the Sisters of the Thorn. Probably my 1 and 2. I'll take the Way Watchers and then these guys. These guys are just great, I think, because they're gonna have shooting and magic, but really mostly it's magic. All right, guys. Next week up, we got the Warhawk Riders, and after reading what they have, which is they ride a hawk, which has strength 4. They're strength 3, toughness 3. They're basic elf stats, just an elf on top of there, and they're on a hawk that isn't even strength toughness 4. It does have 2 attacks and 2 wounds. These guys are garbage. They're the worst model. They're the worst ones in the whole thing I've seen so far. Yes, they can fly. Yes, they have bows. Yes, they have spears, and we'll look at their spears here. In fact, let's just go down here. But look how much these suckers are worth. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't see any reason to take these guys at all. Like they're just garbage. Um, so they're not like immune to psychology. They're not. They have a check this out. So they have a spear, so they'll get strength 4 on a charge only, right? They have a longbow, so they'll be able to shoot. You could do any of these, upgrades, but then you can take, oh boy, shields and give them a 6-up. They don't even have a 6-up ward. What the hell is the point of these guys at 25 points per model? I don't understand. I mean, you can take a unit of 3 like naked and 75 points can fly, I guess. I mean, if they let you, the only way I could see these guys being worth crap at all, anything at all, is maybe take them in a unit of 2 and then you have a 50-point model that you can take and harass war machines with. But you have to spend 75 points. They're gonna get shot up at toughness 3. I mean, they're garbage. This is one of the worst units I've seen, period, in the game. I just don't understand what the hell they're even good for. I don't. Just absolutely trash. I mean, if you could even unit one, like if you could take like one of them on its own, at least that could be something. 25 points for something that can fly, strength 4 on the charge. I mean, it's only 1 attack, but even you know what? This is garbage all around. Absolutely terrible. All right, y'all. So next up, we got the altars, which after reading what they do, guys, I'm gonna say I don't think I would take these guys either. They seem like a fun model to probably paint. I mean, they look cool. I mean, I don't know what these look like, but so basically, here, let me give you the lowdown. They can alter into different animals. They take an animal form, right? Every round, you can't have the same one 2 consecutive rounds in a row, right? And then the animal forms are kind of like they're just kind of repetitive. It just seems kind of silly. The good thing is, I mean, the one thing is that they are swift strike, so they are movement 8, so I can see that being kind of cool. And um, they have 2 attacks each, 3 for the champion, so I can see 11 attacks on a unit of 5 of them. I think you can take 5 plus. We'll check here and there in a second. They do have a 6-up ward saves, so there's that, but no kind of armor saves. You'll see here in a second. They cause fear. They've got Forest Strider, Skirmisher, Swift Stride. So maybe, yeah, I guess they would be okay. They could be kind of a harassing little unit to be dealt with, but I don't know if their points are really worth it. So basically, they can take an animal form, can't take the same one twice in a row. You have the bear, which is just +1 strength. You have the boar, which is +1 toughness. You have the wolf, which is +1 attack, and then armor piercing. So that's kind of cool. 3 attacks each. Now that's actually kind of nice, actually, to be honest. I thought it said +1 strength. I misread that. And then you have the stag, which gains impact hits. So everybody gets impact hits. So it's 5 strength 4 impact hits, which is interesting. And they get a strength bonus, actually strength 5. So, on second thought, they look like they'd be fun to play, but I think they'll just get shot the hell up. Um, Either way, I think that would be a cool model to own. I just think it looks kind of cool. But on second thought, they're betting. I'll tell you what, I'll take these over the stupid ass. What are they called? The ones I just mentioned. The war dancers. No, the ones that are on top of the freaking eagles, war flyers or whatever. I just saw them. I already forgot what they're called. Here, let's go over here and take a look at them real quick. They're right by them. I'll take these babies over those other guys any day because sheesh, those other ones are just ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So yeah, Warhawk Riders, that's what I meant. So you can take 5 of these at 14 points per model. You can get a champion, I guess, take it. So 14 times 5, what is that? 80. 20 or 70? I think it's 70 actually. So 70 plus, so 80 with the champion, if I'm doing my math correct. They're moving 8. I like the movement. I like the swift stride. I like the leadership. I wish they do cause fear, so that does help out. But they're probably not gonna outnumber too many things, so it'll kind of like cancel out the outnumber, I guess. And then they do have swift stride. So these could be a nice little harassing. They are weapon skill 4 as well too, right? So I could see them being kind of cool. And then let's say you take now that I think about it, let's say you take Laura Beast with some kind of spellcaster, toughen them up, Weisson's Wild Form, Strength 4, Toughness 4, and then you add the animal their animal form thing. They could be kind of interesting. So I think I would like to play with these. These are cool. I don't know if I would take them as a preference. I think it'd just be something I'd try out because I think that'd be kind of fun. So yeah, another unit that's this one's more interesting than most because let's say you end up getting +1 attack, you had three. Well, they would be strength 3 attacks. I would say put Weisson's Wild Form, then they'd each have 3 strength 4 attacks plus a champion. That's I say 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 12 times 12, so 16 attacks, right? So yeah, that could be. Oh, actually, yeah, 16 attacks on the first round, and then at initiative 6, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Not gonna lie, but that's if you get Weisson's Wild Form off on them. If not, then yeah, it's gonna be kind of tough. You have to do your animal form thing. So either way, I mean, they might be toughness 4. Shooting will be the bane of their existence, but at least they're skirmishers, so it'll be -1 to hit them. You can charge them out of the forest, much like many things. so yeah, interesting model. I just want to say one more thing about these is that I do like that it's not just one thing. I mean, yes, of course, the stag is going to be good, right? You're going to have strength 4 on the chart and impact hits. That's probably the best one, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, you know what? That's the best one. That's all there's to it. Probably here. Let me just pick the ones I would like. One. I mean, I'll take strength over anything, or it just depends, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take toughness last, even though it will help. They still have 2 attacks each. I mean, you're gonna have 3 attacks, even if they're strength 3. That's still 16 attacks coming at you, and strength 3 with armor piercing. So interesting. Yeah. Plus, you could beef those up, right? You could beef those up with Weisson's Wallform, like I said earlier. So pretty interesting. Yeah, I would say this would be kind of cool because then you can put Weisson's on them, and maybe this one's a little bit better. Maybe I'll take that one. Yeah. I'll take the toughness last. All right, y'all. Next up, we got the Metal Chariots. So the Metal Chariot has movement 8 because it has Elven Steeds. Strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, leadership 9. Charioteer does have weapon skill 5. That's going to be important because let me show you something with these guys. They do have ballistic skill 4 as well. The armor save is 5 plus. It's a chariot. What do you want? Usually chariots with elves are super expensive. But let me show you why I would take one of these. Probably take one of these. At least consider it. It's only 70 points for a chariot. Now with elves, that's dirt cheap. Okay. Now there are some upgrades you can do as well. So they carry spears, so they'll be able to shoot a little bit. So you'll get two guys shooting, and then you can actually take a spear. So they're actually strength 6 on the charge, if I'm not mistaken. So no, you know what? They would be strength 4 on the charge. Sorry. Um, and the impact hits would be at strength 5. That's actually the correct thing, I think. You can take 2 extra steeds, which is kind of pointless if you ask me. But I would consider taking 2 extra charioteers because you have guys with weapon skill 5, strength 4 on the charge. Um, Not too bad, for an extra 20 points. But I wish it was only 5 points. I would totally take or at least 5. No, I guess it is 5 for. So it's only 10 points. I thought it was 20 points. So 80 points for 4 guys at strength 4 if you make the charge, plus D6 strength 5 hits. Gotta say, that's not too bad for elves. All right. I can see myself taking this. I think that's kind of solid. All right, y'all. We got Dryads up next. I always like the way this unit looks. I think they're cool looking. Their artwork is cool. Just really cool model altogether, but I think they've taken a little bit of a nerf. However, I do think there's some stuff you can do to help them out. So here's the thing, though. It's like to help them out, I think you need to use magic. They have these tree aspects that help them or whatever. That's kind of cool. But they used to be toughness 4, if I'm not mistaken. But now they're movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, which is tough. 2 attacks each, 3 for the champion, leadership 8. I think they could use something like stubborn or something like that. Maybe they had that in the past, if I'm not mistaken. They are forest spirits, so they would get a 5-up ward against non-magical attacks. It would be a 6-up against them, and they do cause fear, but they are flammable. The good thing about flammable is that I thought it was too OP before, and definitely in 8th and 7th and 8th edition, where I think both of them, where it basically anything that has regen, like let's say a hell pit or a hydra or something like that, would basically you would they wouldn't get their regen, and I don't that's not the case anymore. Now it's just you can re-roll the wound if you don't make it. So nowhere near as bad, which I like. I thought it was just way too tough, and then there was a lot of stuff in the tree in this army. For instance, like before it was a treeman, um, that it's flammable, and it was just like I mean, it's just fire sucks ass. Okay, it just sucks. So they're flammable, force spirit, hatred, so they get 5 up ward. They do have hatred, which is nice, and they do have weapon skill 4, which is not bad. They are a core unit too, by the way, so they can do this tree aspect thing. So the oak aspect is +1 toughness. The birch aspect is +1 attack, so they have 3 attacks each. And then you have the willow aspect, which is -1 to hit them. All enemies of base contact are -1 to hit. So not bad at all. And if you can get spells off, it can really help them. You can make them into some skirmishers. There's 12 points per model. They are core, which is nice. And they have um what else? And it's still initiative 5. So yeah, you could have a unit of these, make them into skirmishers. Could be kind of like a harassing unit, but they do suffer from not having combat res. Now you will get fear, which helps out a little bit, but you better get some magic off with them or do something where you can help them out. Because strength 3, toughness 3, they'll get shot up. If it's magical, arrows or anything like that, they'll get magicked up. Whatever. It's gonna be kind of tough. I guess you could try to take a little horde of them and get a bunch of attacks and then throw magic on him, but that's kind of the thing, right? So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'd take him just for the core, or at least for some scouting, right? At least something to be reckoned with. Maybe a unit of 10. It'd be cool if they were like immune to psychology or something like that, or stubborn something. But yeah. All right, guys. So now we got the hero version of the Dryads, which is a branch wraith, which is kind of cool. I like this model. First of all, look at his artwork; it's amazing. The model itself is pretty cool. It's weapon skill 6, strength 4, toughness 4, ballistic skill 6. I don't know if that matters unless you can take I guess you could take some kind of magical missile attack or whatever. 2 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 9. It is initiative 7, which is nice. Branch race is a level 1 wizard, so not bad for a level 1 wizard. Let's see what the points cost. I think it used to be 90 or 100, which I was like, you're telling me I can get a 90, 100 point wizard at toughness 4, strength 4 with 3 attacks? I mean, that's pretty solid. So it has the blessings of the agent, so you can keep it inside of woods and then, be harder to hit it. It's got the tree aspects thing as well. Also has hatred, but it's also flammable. By the way, guys, I was wrong earlier. I was saying something about regen, about flammable being not as bad. Nope. Flammable still messes up your regen save, so I was mistaken, which sucks. Yeah, so I guess it is what it is. I don't know. You know what it is though. At least it's just that. I think before it was that and wounds are doubled, and now that's not the case. So at least there's not that where wounds are doubled. It just rerolled you, which I guess that's fair. That is fair. Regen shouldn't be able to work for a fire wound, I guess, on something that's flammable. So that makes sense. But at least it's not double wounds, which like if you had to help it and you got 4 shots, 4 wounds on you, you're dead. You have 8 wounds or something like that. Hydra too. So, anyways, with that being said, let's go take a look at what the branch race is worth. But it's worth uh, pretty solid though. You can take Lore of Life or Lore of Athel Loren as your magic. All right, so we got the branch race here. So it is 95 points, but I don't get this. Like they make you upgrade it for 50 points. So 145 points to keep it. I guess it's oh man, that's kind of tough. I was thinking that it was included. I was like, and you can take spites up to 50 points. So at the end of the day, you're talking about a 200-point character with a 5 up slash maybe it's a 6 up ward save if it's going against magic. Oh man. I wish it was just outright a level 1 wizard and like 120 points. That'd be solid. But I don't know. I guess you could have it in a unit of dryads in the forest, be skirmishers, and just be harassing shit. But I mean, the second, I mean, here's the thing: is magic doesn't have any kind of modifiers, right? I guess you have to have line of sight, but if it gets magicked up, then you have a 6 up board and you're effed in the A. So that's kind of tough. Unless something with the lore of Athel Loren helps out. That's just way too fucking expensive. Excuse my French. All right, y'all. So next we got tree revenants, which are interesting. I think, like anything, they're a little pricey. Shooting is going to be the bane of their existence, but they do have some interesting things. So it is infantry. It is a forest spirit, so it has the causes fear, 5 board, and all that good stuff. Initiative 5, 2 attacks each, leadership 8. So they have these. They're still only strength 3, toughness 3. Um, they have martial memory, so basically they can re-roll ones when rolling to hidden wound. I wish it was just hatred. That would be cool. Because this is just gonna be. I mean, it is okay, I guess. It's better than nothing. But then they can do this weird thing where they can spirit walk. So basically during the remaining moves sub phase, yeah, I guess you can remove it from play and set it up at the center unit on any woods in the table. So this will be good if you have a lot of woods, I guess. So which you are Wood Elves, so you can place more woods, right? But yeah, so there's that. It's kind of a situational thing. If you have a lot of woods, and this would be a good one to play, I guess, or at least you have a couple. That'd be kind of interesting. He kind of reminds me of, I don't know if y'all watch Metalocalypse. Kind of looks like like the forest spirit version of the lead singer. They're 14 points per model. They are weapon skill 5, string 3, toughness 3, but you can take pole arms for 16 points a model. And then it would be, you know, basically string 4 in the charge, right? Uh, you can take full command at 30 points, which is expensive as shit. But I guess you would have some combat res there. Maybe take a musician at the very least. Of course, like anything here, of course, they do have a couple uh, attacks, but they're just so pricey. I can't see myself taking this one. Seems a little bit too risky. Maybe just for fun because the models look cool. But yeah, I mean, they do have a 5 board against non-magical attacks, or is that? But I wish they were like at least toughness 4 or stubborn, or I guess I don't know, man. Like a lot of the stuff in this army, I just think it doesn't stand on its own. It needs help. All right, next up we got Spite Revenants. Okay, it's like they listen to me, sort of. Not exactly, but ish. They have something similar, which is a Spite Revenant, movement 5, lower weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4. Won't really matter. Won't really matter. Strength 3, toughness 3, still just 1 wound, 2 attacks each, 8 leadership, 3 attacks on the captain, whatever. It's a 4 spirit as well, so it doesn't get the 5 up slash 6 up ward save, depending on magic attacks or not. But this has an interesting thing, and it's the skirmisher. Like I said earlier, I would prefer them to be skirmishers. It has hatred, and it has this unbridled malice, which basically gives them hatred in every round, so eternal hatred kind of thing. But it doesn't have any effect on anything with immunity to psychology. But look how crazy these things look on the artwork. That looks like a goblin. Look at their fingers, crazy looking, right? They're 13 points a model, so one less. They don't get a full command, just a captain, and you could be 5+. I guess these could be 5+ as well. So I mean, I guess these guys have more staying around value. So for one more point, or actually not one more point, for 3 more points, they have a little more sticking around value, and can probably do a little more damage since they have the same amount of attacks, uh, better weapon skill, but way more expensive. Might be worth it to take like 10 of these just to be harassers. I'd probably rather take 10 of these than these. Like, see these right here? You'd probably take like 5 to 7 or maybe 10 of them. But the fact that they're not immune to psychology would be perfect with these, at least, that'd be great. I mean, maybe that's a little OP. I don't know. I say immune to psychology ain't too much to ask. Or stubborn, something. No, immune to psychology. Stubborn's probably a little bit much. But yeah, just something. Just my thoughts on that. But yeah, I would probably take a couple of these just to harass stuff. All right, y'all. Next, we got the Sylvan Hunters, which are kind of interesting. I think, first of all, I think they look cool as shit. Um, I really like these guys. I think they're probably too expensive, but they are pretty cool. Let me tell you what they do. So we've got a unit that is a monstrous infantry, so they'll get a. One thing I'm not 100% on is, do monstrous infantry get a stomp? All right, y'all. So this is important. The monstrous infantry no longer have stomp. It's only for monsters, but they do have swift strides. So that's kind of interesting. That's something that I may have come across in the past and forgot about. But so that's something. I mean, it's a minus, but it's also a plus. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, take it, because I mean, they're more likely to make a long ass charge, which if they get into combat, the stomps aren't going to be what change. I mean, they can be, right? But you want them to get into combat, right? A failed charge is worse than not getting, you know, 3 stomps or something like that, 1 or 2 stomps, right? Whatever it might be. If you're not winning with the attack stomp, more than likely you weren't going to win them. Well, I don't know. I say that, but I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying that it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's put it that way. Anyways, let's get back to it. So let me tell you about these hunters. So they have weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, ballistic skill 4. So they are hitting on 3s. Of course, they're going to have modifiers when they shoot their longbow or great bow. You'll see here in a second. 3 wounds each, 3 attacks each, leadership 8, initiative 4. So all good all around, all elvish kind of stuff for these kind of guys, right? They're not like ogres where shitty they have shitty initiative, stuff like that. They are flammable, which of course is not great, but they are force spirit and they do not have a regeneration save. So they do have a 5+ armor save. Pretty cool. I like that. They have a 5 up ward because they are force spirit, or 6 up if it's a magical attack. So hey, we'll take that. Which is good, right? Because like normally, well, I mean, they are kind of expensive. You'll see here in a second. They, yeah, it is what it is. At least you get it no matter what. Let's put it that way, right? There's no modifier to it, except for the natural armor, but you get the ward save. Now the great bow is a long bow, 36-inch range, strength 5. Any shots made with it have the magical attack special rule. So, I mean, kind of cool, I guess. Then we have a Tangle Thorn Thicket, which is interesting. At the start of either player's turn, you can sprout a thick weave of thorn branches, and it counts as hard cover if you're shooting at them. So that's kind of cool. All right. So basically, it'll be like, I think hard cover, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, let's just go double check. Is -2 to hit targets behind hard cover. It's going to be a -2 to hit. So definitely kind of cool. All right. The only bad thing is that until the end of the term, they cannot voluntarily move, but count as being hard cover. So is what it is. You know what? That could be something that keeps them alive. So definitely an interesting unit so far. So we've got the Sylvan Hunters over here at 3+, right? Pretty normal. They actually have a great weapon. So they are going to be on streak 6, unless you take pole arms, which requires both arms. And then it's going to be 3 attacks at strength 5, toughness 4. And at initiative 4, you're going to be hitting most things at the same time or first. 3 attacks each, and but they are 48 points per model, so almost 150 points for 3 of them. But they're probably overpriced. I wish they were more like around 40 points, but at the same time, with that armor save, with that ward save, with that longbow, and you could upgrade one of them for 10 points. I mean, you're 160 points about. You're gonna have a unit. Let's say you have a unit of 6 of these that could do some damage. Yeah, I would say that these are kind of interesting. I would probably take them myself, and they are forest spirits, so they got the ward save. So definitely kind of cool. It sucks that they're only moving 5, not 6, like regular like ogres or trolls or something like that, which seems like that's off. But I guess they have other stuff that's off for just being that kind of monstrous infantry, right? So I'll take the armor save and the ward save over that. So, and the Tanglethorn ticket's kind of cool too. So yeah, definitely a cool unit. Now you can either do I guess you could, it says free on both of these, so you can just take the pole arms or the bows. You can switch out the pole arms for the great weapons. So why not take the bows? And then it's kind of an iffy on the great weapon, right? Um, I guess when you charge, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Depends what you're going against on the great weapon or the pole arm. All right, next we got Treekin, more monstrous infantry. Treekin are interesting. Basically, again, movement 5, weapon skill 4, strength 4, toughness 5. So these suckers are tough. 3 wounds, 3 attacks each, 4 for the champion. Flammable as well, 4 spirit as well. But these guys have a 4 plus natural armor, and they're stubborn. So they're kind of similar to the other guys, except not as killy because they are only strength 4, but they're tough as nails because they are toughness 5. Um, so yeah, pretty interesting on these guys. I think they'd be kind of fun. I'm kind of thinking which one I'd rather have. I mean, again, it depends what you're going for. They're about the same points. I'm going to be honest. I think the Treekin could be really good just because they have to be dealt with, and then they're stubborn. Um, and of course, yeah, they are flammable, but at least you still have a 5 up ward, 6 up if it's magical, and then you have a 4 up armor save. Otherwise, that has to be modified. So 50 points per model, guys. That's quite pricey. The other guys are 48. Let me go back up here. Sorry about that. 4 up armor save. You can upgrade one of them to a captain for 10 points. Yeah, that's pretty much it. 50 points per model. So 3 of them. I mean, you can get 6 of them for 310 points, right? 310 points, and you got toughness. What is that? Um, 3 times 6, 18 wounds at toughness 5. Just treat it as a monster. Toughness 5, strength 4, toughness 5. And then let's say you throw Wisons on them, and then you got strength 5, toughness 6. I mean, come on, you could really do some damage. I think I might take. I don't know. That's really tough. The toughness. Let's say you do get Wisons off on them, or a spell off, or you make them tougher, or something like that. You're talking toughness 6, and then they're gonna have to just mulch through these guys and stubborn. I think that's kind of solid. I think they were better before. I could be wrong about that, but shoot, I'll take some of these for sure. A nice little brick of them. Those 6 of them could really hold some people up. 5 of them could. Heck, 3 of them. 150 points and a toughness 5, and how many wounds? 12 wounds, right? It's going to be hard for archers to kill them, right? Except, of course, if they're like flaming archers and you have a reroll. But yeah, I think I may take the Treekin just because they're tough as nails, and then you could throw Wisons on them or something like that. But I do like the other ones. I don't know. I think the Treekin are a little bit better. And they're definitely worth just throwing in there and holding stuff up. All right, let's have some fun. Next is Treeman. I love the Treeman model. I love using it. I think it's a very fun model. I think it's so cool. Kind of reminds me of Pan's Labyrinth, La Fauna, or the Fauna, or whatever. I don't know what you call it in English. I remember it's called itself La Fauna. I forget what it's called. Maybe it's a Sprite, something like that. Anyways, plus I love the way they talk in Spanish, like from the motherland. It's so fancy, and they have their lisp and all that stuff. But anyways, we got Treeman and Treeman Ancient. So Treeman is movement 5, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 6. That'll come in handy here in a little bit. You'll see why. Strength 5, toughness 6, 5 wounds, 2 initiative, which is not great. Leadership 9, 5 attacks. It's a monster. It is flammable, so they will be able to reroll wounds against it. But it doesn't have regen unless you put it on there. It is a forest spirit, so it has a 5 up ward, 6 up for magical. Natural armor is 3 plus, so your enemy is definitely going to hit it with magic. That's what you got to watch out for. Anything that ignores armor saves is going to be brutal. So you got to watch out for that. Dispel it. It is stubborn. All right. It does have a tree whack attack, which is interesting. Basically, a model can switch out all of its attack to make just one, and it's decided before something you got to do before. It's declared before rolling to hit. So basically, at weapon skill 6, you're going to be hitting most things on 3. but if you miss, it's no bueno. So basically, here's how we resolve. You roll a the model must pass an initiative test. Depends what you're going against. If you're going against a lord or something, oh, let's see, you're not rolling to hit. It's just an initiative test. This can be done in a challenge too, by the way. So I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to hit, but you could really mess something up if you get it to hit. To resolve a two egg nominate in any moment, yeah, so it'd be just against one person. But let's say you're going against a wizard and their initiative is 3, you got a 50-50 chance of probably killing. No armor save allowed, which they probably, yeah. You know what? You probably kill them straight up anyway. So I don't know if this is the greatest thing. I mean, it's okay. I guess it's okay. Like I say, if you're going against a character that does have like a 1-up armor save, because then instead of it being a 3-up armor save, I mean, yeah, but still, it's going to be kind of hard if initiative, if they're only failing on a 5 or a 6, or much worse on a 6, which is most characters. But let's say you're just trying to kill a BSB, um, eh, you're probably better off just doing regular attacks and directing other attacks at that. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. Anyways, with that said, I mean, I guess it could be good. Let me think, like on Steam Tank or something like that. That would be good because then you can roll 5s to hit it, no armor save. That would be good. So it'd be good for like against like monsters, maybe not necessarily against characters who tend to have higher initiative. So monsters or orcs or something like that. Other stuff with low initiative. So low initiative stuff, yeah, definitely. Now it also has a Strangle Roots upgrade, which is an attack of 12 inches. It's quick to fire. It's D6 plus 1 shots at strength 5. Pretty solid. I don't see why you wouldn't take that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I thought it was no armor save against that in the past. I think I'm wrong. We have a Treeman Ancient, which is basically a wizard. A Treeman is a wizard. Much less attacks, higher leadership. It does have 6 wounds as well, and much lower weapon skill as well. Other than that, all the other stats are the same, except that it does have that Blessings of the Ancients, so it does get +1 to spells and dispels if it's 6 inches from the forest. And it can also do the tree whack attack as well, which is probably better than its a regular attack. So I guess if you go into a challenge, do the tree whack attack. Here's the tree man. So the tree man is 215 points. Can take Strangle Root for 20 points. So 235 points. You got a guy with 3-up armor save, 5-up / 6-up ward save, depending on what you attack it with. It is flammable, but it has to be dealt with, and it has a shooting attack. It has a weird close combat attack, or it'd be good against monsters and monstrous infantry, shit like that. And it's stubborn, so I like the treatment. I think it's worth the points. Now, when you get over to the Treeman Ancient, it's a little pricey, but maybe worth it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think the regular treatment's probably better. So let's go over the Treeman Ancient. Treeman Ancient is 250 points. It's a level 1 wizard at that. It does have a 3-up armor save, which is kind of nice for a wizard because wizards don't tend to have the best saves. You could take I guess you could take some, make him a level. And the most you can do is level 3, so maybe make him level 2 or something like that if you want to, or just take him outright. I think it's probably better just to leave him a 1 or maybe a 2 at the most, and then take some magic to help him stay alive. Whatever that may be, I don't know all the stuff you can get, but I know the basic stuff, right? You could take a 4-up ward, and that way you don't have a 5-up, 6-up save against magic, right? That kind of deal. So 3-up, 4-up ward, hey, helps. It's a pretty scary wizard with Thunderstomp and 3 attacks at strength 5 and 1 crazy attack, and but otherwise, I think I would probably. I mean, yeah, that is kind of scary at 250 points. I don't know. I might just take a regular stream man just because he's way, way more killy. Not much to read here, but Great Eagles are next. Solid choice. I'll tell you why. Basically, they are movement 2, but they do fly 9, so they can go pretty far. Weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, initiative 4, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8. It is a monstrous beast. It does have 2 upgrades you can take, which is Swift Sense. It's +1 initiative. It has Shredding Talons, armor piercing 1. You can take them in a size of 1 to 3. I believe you can only take 1, 2 in this kind of army. Yeah, so you may take. You may take 1 to 2 units of Great Eagles as a single rare choice. So you can have up to yeah, I guess you could just have 3 of them. All right, as a single rare choice. And so I think in this kind of depends on the size of the army, I guess. But yeah, I would definitely take yeah, Yeah, we'll take probably 2 units or two eagles. I don't know if you need these things right here, but at 50 points, I mean they fly. They're strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds. They have 3 attacks, and they no longer cause fear, do they? That kind of sucks that they don't cause fear. Still worth it though. I mean, yeah, it's a bummer that they took away fear, but tis what it is. Still worth getting. Still a good little chaff unit, dash hold up unit, whatever. Uh, War Machine Hunter, that sort of deal. All right, we're gonna get into the bestiary of these Wood Elves. Okay, we're just gonna do them all together and then look at their points all together. We got Elven Steeds, which are movement 9, weapon skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, initiative 4, 1 attack. War Beast has Forest Strider, so it can go through the forest pretty easily. After that, we have Great Stags, which are monstrous beasts. That's weapon skill 5, strength 5, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 2 attacks each, and leadership 7, initiative 4. Does have D3 impact hits as well, and Forest Strider as well. Next, we'll see the points here in just a second. We have unicorns. Unicorns are movement 10. Unicorns don't fly. I guess they don't. Oh, it's a Pegasus. It's a Forest Strider. It does have magical attacks, so it does March 20, which is nice. It has a magic resistance of 2. It does gain 1 strength on, and it does. Oh, so it does have unicorn gains +1 strength to their impact hits. So I guess they do impact hits as well. Um, I didn't see impact hits up here, so I guess what does that mean? Like it doesn't show impact hits here, so I guess it causes. I know the stag causes impact hits. It doesn't do D6. There's no way. It contains a random number D6, such as D6. And it probably just has 1. I'm guessing impact ornament. Well, I'm guessing it just has 1. I mean, I don't understand why it doesn't say up here whether it does have it or not. So impel when the unicorn charges. Okay, so I'm guessing. So, well, that just tells me it just gets +1 strength when it charges, not necessarily impact hits. You can let me know in the comments below if I'm seeing wrong. I think that's the case. It's always been. We have forest dragons next, which are interesting. They are movement 6, weapon skill 6. They do fly. They're forest spirits, so they can go to the forest. Natural armor 3 plus, strength 6, toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 3, 5 attacks, leadership 8. Of course, thunderstomp. It does have a breath weapon, the soporific breath, which is a strength 2 breath weapon. Armor saves can be taken to get it against it, but it's a -3 penalty. All models that suffer a wound, suffer 1 or more hits, not wounds, gain stupidity for the rest of the game. So if this is low leadership stuff, that could be pretty bad. All right, so usually these are things you take with characters. So for instance, with a Glade Lord, Nelvin Steed is 21 points. A Warhawk's 30. We didn't even look at that one. Maybe I missed it. A Great Eagle. Oh, I guess you can ride a Great Eagle. I didn't even know that. It's 50 points. This is a Great Stag at 55. Middle Chariot 70, and a Forest Dragon 325. And where's the unicorn? Maybe it's only certain things that can ride a unicorn. Let's see, unicorn. Oh, there's 46 things here with unicorn. Let's see. So a spell. Okay, a spell weaver can ride a unicorn. What else can ride a unicorn? A spell singer. So just really okay. So it's not really for lords. It's for casters. Okay, so there's that, and they can ride Great Eagles as well. So I don't know how safe that is, to be honest. But I also didn't see the Warhawk. But I don't see any point of riding a Warhawk. It's basically like an eagle. It's just no point, if you ask me. I really don't. I'd rather ride a chariot, I guess, or which is still not great. I'd rather get on a forest dragon. Of course, it's way more expensive, but still. Yeah, just a couple things on those possible beasts, I guess. Let's see, mounts. I don't see a warhawk. I just don't see the point. I guess if I had to take one, I'd just take the Elven Seed. I mean, the stag seems kind of interesting if you're not gonna take anything else, or the unicorn, I guess. Maybe the unicorn because then you can go with like a unit of wild riders, that sort of deal. So yeah, which I do love wild riders. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it on those. It does have some points on those, but yeah, I don't even see the point of the Warhawk. I'm not gonna look that up. Like garbage. All right, y'all. Next up is Orion, the King in the Woods. So Orion is, I think he's the main guy with the Wood Elves. He is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. So let me tell you what he's got. He's got movement 9. So you can March 18, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 8, strength 5, toughness 5, 5 wounds, 5 attacks, initiative 9, leadership 10. Just scary all around. He's monstrous infantry, right? So he has swift stride as well. He can be taken with his 2 hounds of Orion, which were strength 4, toughness 4, initiative 4, right? He has astride archery, so he doesn't have a -1 on the march or on the with move and shoot. Better yet, Elven Grace, so I guess that's a 6+ ward. It's kind of confusing because he has multiple wards, I guess. Forest Spirit, because Forest Spirit gives you a 5+ ward, right? Or 5+, 6+. I don't know. And then he has terror, and he's unbreakable as well at leadership 10. Brutal. So if he's accompanied by his hounds, he has to stay with them. He can't leave them. I would, however, would probably just leave the hounds out and then just put him in some monstrous infantry or something else, just because then he'll be harder to target. Put him in. What did you put him in? So with some Treekin, if you can. I don't see why you wouldn't, unless I'm mistaken. All right, so in an army led by Orion, Wild Riders count as core. Definitely would love that. Wild Riders are just beasts. We have special rules. He has special rules. Hounds of Orion. Oh, so this is the hounds. They are frenzied, unbreakable, and force spirits as well. I don't know how that's gonna work out. We have the Spear of Kuros, which is a magic weapon. So it works as a spear. So on the charge, he's strength 6. Um, oh wait, so no, the spear gives him +1 strength. So I'm guessing that's strength 6 and then strength 7 on the charge, and armor piercing and multiple wounds. In addition, it can be used to make shooting attacks using the same rules as a bolt thrower with the profile below. So yikes. So strength 6, armor piercing 1. So I'm guessing it would be like, I don't know. I'm a little confused on this because he has another way to throw his bow, which is kind of weird. 18-inch range, armor piercing 1, D3 wounds. All right, so you could do that. Strength 6, right? That's scary. But then you have Hawk's Talon, a magic weapon. It's a longbow. So they're 2 different weapons. One one's a spear that you throw. The other one's a longbow. All shots with this weapon are resolved at strength 5 and have the multiple shots special rule. So 6 shots at strength 5, and even if he moved, which he doesn't get the -1 for moving, so he's basically hitting on 2s, if I'm not mistaken. He also has a Cloak of Isha, which gives him a 6+ ward and magic resistance too. So I guess the good thing about this ward is that he can get a 4+ ward if he has magic targeted at him. At the start of your, does he have an armor save? Let's see. I don't think he does. No, I didn't see an armor save, but I guess he has toughness 5. The start of each of your turns, roll d6. On a score of a 6, okay, Orion gains a wound lost earlier in battle. So he also has like the hunger, kind of like, sort of. He has a one use only item, which basically gives all units. It's the Horn of the Wild Hunt. All units within 18 inches gain devastating charge and fear for the remainder of their turn. So I guess that could be really good. It's +1 attack on the charge. Orion is 425 points. You can add his 2 hounds for 20 points. That's pretty much it. He is frenzy, so he will have 6 attacks, and he is having to try to restrain on a 10 if you are trying to not charge. Okay, so definitely a lot of points, but also definitely scary. All right, guys, gonna say something before we get to Ariel. So one thing that is interesting is that, if I'm not mistaken, here I'll just show you. I was looking up ward saves. If I'm not mistaken, ward saves can be stacked up. I think I've seen this in the past. So basically, they work the same as armor saves and may be combined with other ward saves as normal. Does that tell you that you can have more than one ward save? So basically, I guess, like, let's say someone like Orion is a forest spirit, which gives him a 5+ ward save, right? Then he also does this 6+ ward save with a magical resistance. We would get a 4+ ward save. So let's say a magic spell goes towards him, and he gets a 6+ ward save because of his forest spirit, because it goes down to a 6+, right? Or up to whatever you want to say, with the forest spirit. And you're like, okay, that one didn't work, but then let's go with the 4+ ward save that he'll get. So you could try one, like the lower one, the worst one first, and then try the next one. So that's something. If that is true, then hey, I like it. I like having multiple ward saves. There's more chances of you saving a wound. So if I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments below. I don't know if I am. So let's move on to Ariel anyways. So Ariel is the Mage Queen of Lauren. She is kind of interesting. She is weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, but no attacks. Initiative 7, leadership 10. She is monsters infantry level 4 wizard, who is a lore master for the lore of Athel Loren. Has a blessing. She flies, and she has Asteroid archery. So she has magic resistance 3. In addition, all friendly units within 6 inches have immunity to panic. That's good. She has Screech. Okay. Aerial means this is a special attack that automatically hits all enemies in base contact at strength 4 and ignores armor saves. So yikes, that's going to be kind of scary against like knights or something like that, or anybody that has high armor save and low toughness or regular or just strength 4. Any units declaring charge on aerial count as moving through dangerous terrain for the duration of that turn. In addition, if aerial flees from combat, any units attempted to pursue or roll an extra d6 when determining their pursuit distance and discard the highest result. So yeah, so it's hard to catch, I guess. I don't see I mean, I'll have to look at the lore of Athel Loren, but I don't know if I would take her. Oh my gosh, she's 540 points. Okay, is that all she does? The dart? Am I missing something? She is the fake and discreet level 4. She is a lore master, I guess, but still. Sorry, I didn't read these beforehand, to be honest. She has a one use only, a dart of doom, 12-inch range, causes 1 automatic wound, which ignores armor save. If the wound is not saved, the dart sucks the energy out of the victim, draining their strength characteristic by D3 to a minimum 1. That is scary. But it's one use only, which is a bummer. Then it'd be better if it was like not one use only. Maybe it was like, let's say it was 6 inches, but you could use it all the time. That'd be kind of crazy. I don't know. Either way, it kind of takes away from it. I don't know. I guess it's kind of situational. Hearthstone Ethel Lawrence, a talisman. If Ariel dispels a spell targeted at her, the wizard must take a leadership test. If he fails, he loses a wizard level and may not cast a spell for the remainder of the game. That is scary. That is scary. Okay, so it has to be directed. So basically, they're not going to be directing stuff at her. That's kind of scary. All right, then we have Wand of Wyke Elm or Wick Elm or whatever. Allows any failed dispel attempt to be re-rolled. We have the Berry Wine. It's a one use only. Can be drunk at the start of the game. She'll gain up to D3 wounds previously lost. Oh, at the start of any phase, I'm sorry. Up to D3 wounds lost in battle. Before we have the Acorn of Angels, some kind of another one use only. The start of the game after the battlefield is set up, but before deployment, place a force no more than 12 inches in diameter on the battlefield. This force can be placed anywhere at least 1 inch away from the terrain feature in the edge of the battlefield. Once the force has been placed, scatters D6, 2d6. If this scatter causes the force to end up within 1 inch or on top of other terrain or within 1 inch of the battlefield edge, reduce or increase the scatter by the smallest amount necessary to avoid obstruction. When this has been done, declare which type of forest you want it to be. Choose from the types on the mysterious forest table. Okay. All right. So something else. I think she's she's kind of scary. Oh, I don't know why I'm here, but I think she's way too expensive. I wouldn't take her unless I'm just having a shits and giggles kind of game, which are most games. But still, level 4 just depends on this Alpha Loren. I have a hard time thinking that I would take her over Orion. I'll take Orion. Take Orion like a Treeman Ancient and a bunch of Treekin just to have fun, and a bunch of Wild Riders, and some Weight Watchers. And that'd be expensive as shit, but I guess your Wild Riders would be core. All right, y'all. Next we got Araloth, the Lord of Talcin. This guy's kind of interesting. It's this dude is movement 5, weapon skill 8, strength 4, toughness 3, ballistic skill 7. So basically like regular Lord stacks. So he has leadership 10 and he has 5 attack. He has a 4 aboard save. He's a 4 strider. He has a 4 aboard and he's unbreakable. So let me tell you what, I think this guy's a pretty decent little Lord. He doesn't have a lot of shit other than he has a 4 aboard. He's unbreakable, and you can nominate at the start of each of your turns. Nominate a single enemy model within 8. He's kind of a one-trick pony. A single enemy model within 18 inches. That model takes a strength 4 hit. Right, it's at each turn. If the wound is saved, and if the wound is unsaved, and the 2 wound roll with a 6, the model suffers -5 penalty to weapon skill, ballistic skills, and initiative to minimum of 1 for the rest of the game. A model can only suffer this penalty once. So -5. So I mean, you could in essence make that character stupid as shit. Either way, let me tell you why. Even though it's kind of situational and you may or may not get that, I mean, it's still not too bad. I mean, it's only strength 4. If it was strength 5, of course, that'd be better. He's only strength 4. I don't think he here. I'll have to see what kind of weapon he has, but let me show you why this is kind of interesting. I mean, he's cheap lord, right? He's got good leadership, right? And he's unbreakable, but he has a spear, so it could be strength 5 on the charge. I mean, he's got light armor. Maybe not that great, actually. The 4-up ward, think of him like a hero, I guess. Like, not necessarily a lord, but here he has a 5-up save, and then he has a, you know, actually it'd be a 6-up save because he's using a shield, but he has a spear, which takes 2 arms. And then he has a 4-up ward. And he'll get killed, but you might be able to mess with some of the guys. It's not as good as I thought. I thought he had a better stuff than that. So yeah, I guess that's just what it is. Not as good as I thought, y'all. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. Weapons go 8, 5 attacks, strength 4, 5 on the charge. Ain't too bad though. So probably be decent against regular infantry. Um, so yeah, I don't like this crappy save and they just having a 4 board. So yeah, I was mistaken with that. Not as good. I probably want to take him. I might take him for fun. See how that works. To see, I'm trying to think where it would actually help because it's only against it's only a single enemy model. I think. Let's see, 144. I think that's around where he was. Okay, further down. Yeah. Whoops, not right. But let's take a look at this one more time. Oops, I went too far. But yeah, I mean, it could be single enemy model. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely, I don't know. Yeah, you could definitely do something as a single enemy model, but it's very situational. So never mind. Nowhere near as good as I thought. I had the wrong first impressions. All right, y'all. Next up, we got Thalendor Doomstar. Cool name. Kind of meh on the stats. We got weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, initiative 8, regular lord stuff, except maybe a higher initiative. Maybe that's right. He has a troop type monsters cavalry because he rides a eagle pretty much. He does have fly 9, so that's kind of cool. But he has spirit draith, which gives him a 4+ parry save, not a 4+ ward, mind you. He does get a spear, so that is strength 5 on the charge. He does have a talisman that gives him -1 to hit for missile attacks. So there's that. Thalendor, 240 points. I just can't see myself taking him. But it could be fun, I guess. Just very, very crappy save. And then, I mean, what's he going to have? He's going to have a shield, a 6-up armor save. He doesn't even have light armor. He has 6-up armor save, and that's it? Are you serious? Toughness 3, he'll be dead in no time for 240 points. Not worth it. All right, next up we got Durthu Oakheart, the eldest of ancients, and this dude just looks metal as shit. I mean, look at this. Come on, looks like he's hanging, slinging dong too. I mean, look at that thing going all the way down. Got his own strangle root there. Anyways, that was dumb. So the very well endowed Durthu was a level 1 wizard. Uses lore beast, which is a great lore. I mean, all you need is Wisens, which I don't know. This guy seems a lot of fun to take. He is got the blessings. He's a force spirit. He's got frenzy, hatred, and he has hatred in every round. If I'm not mistaken, I'll check that in a second. He does have a 3-up armor save, 5-up / 6-up force spirit save. That's it. He is stubborn. And he has his tree whack as well in leadership 10. Now he has basically 6 attacks, and I think he can't lose his frenzy, is what it is. So he'll always be 6 attacks, which is scary as fuck. He does have the unburden of Thieflings, which is a strength 2 attacks, another one he makes. It's a close combat attack that can be used in addition to his other attacks. His strength 2 is D6, and any enemy that suffers a wound for any of the attacks is -1 to hit and to wound, as well as -1 to their armor saves for the next until the start of the next turn. So they don't want to take a hit from this. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a long shot, but at the same time, it's a little extra. So he does have the Sword of Death, which basically this sword allows Durthu to reroll fail to hit rolls every turn, not just the first. In addition, he can never lose his frenzy. So always 6 attack, always rerolls at weapon skill 6. He is 335 points. And yeah, I mean, you can get Weissens off with him. He's gonna be a scary dude, so I think he'd be pretty fun to take. All right, next up we got Draika, which is the Briar Maven of Woe. Basically, it's another branch race, like the branch race of branch race, which kind of a baddie. So she's moving 5. If it's a he's got some nice boobs. That's dumb. Okay, so weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 6, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 attack, leadership 9. I'm sorry. Level 2 wizard, no spells from Lore of Life and Athel Loren. It's got the Blessing of the Ancients, Flammable Force, Big Spirit. Also has Spirit Walk and Tree Aspects. So I guess tree aspects like regular dryads, so that's kind of cool. So you can get higher toughness and more attacks, all that crap that I said earlier. We have Eternal Rage, so she has hatred in all rounds, in every round, not just the first. Fanatical Resolve, so if Draco suffers an unsaved wound, which she only has 2, so I don't know how this. I mean, I guess it can help. Her attacks characteristics increases by 1 for the remainder of the battle. However, she regains a wound she lost earlier. It decreases by 1. So she's closer to death. She's tougher, or she's stronger. If she's not, she goes back to normal. So, I mean, I guess if you have something that can regain wounds, which I think Lore Life has something, maybe Ethel Loren does too, you know. And then we have Rouse to Wrath, which basically this rule cannot be used if there are no forests on the battlefield when it is time to deploy your army. So if you don't have any forests, it's no bueno. But if you do, then you may choose D3 units wholly composed of models with the Forest Spirit rule. This is kind of risky. So they're not deployed at the start of the game. They're basically sleeping, slumbering. So let's say Treekin or Revenant or whatever those Tree Revenant, whatever the hell they were called. I think they're Forest Spirits. But in the remaining move subphase, of your first turn, roll a d6 for each slumber unit. On a roll of 1 or 2, nothing happens. So on a roll of 3, 6, the unit awakens. Place it on the battlefield so that all models on a roll of 3, the unit awakens on the battlefield. So all models that in the unit are wholly within a forest at least 1 inch away from other units in impassable terrain. So this could be really brutal, but both ways, because let's say you never roll a 1 or 2 or a 2 the whole game. Let's say you never roll a 3 up on some of these, and they're just counted as dead. So kind of ballsy. So, but let's say you have some Treekin and they don't show up, it's 300 points down the Grand Drain. Or, I mean, if it's a smaller unit, I guess it's not so bad. But let's say you put like a small unit, I guess you could do like a three. Oh my god, I can't talk. Three Treekin, and then you know, put them away and put them anywhere on the field. That could be scary as hell. So same thing with the Revenant guys. So yeah, I could see that being kind of cool. But I just don't see how she's gonna last too long if she's not in the forest, which you could do. Put her in some dryads and keep her away from the enemy. And she could also spirit walk away, I guess. So there's that. So that's kind of, and basically just a reminder, Spirit Walk, basically instead of a regular move, she could do a remaining moves thing and just go to any other forest. So that's kind of cool. See what old Dryga's got. She has 200 points, and that is it. A little pricey. I wish it was less, but kind of cool what she can do. I mean, for that ability, it may be worth it if it can alter the game, but it is kind of iffy. All right, next up we got Naestra and Arahan, the Sisters of the Twilight. Basically, these ladies are conjoined. And they go to battle together either on a dragon or an eagle. So, I mean, I would take the dragon. The only reason to take the eagle would be one thing here you'll see in a second, but I just don't see the benefit of it. So they are infantry, and they must ride either one of those 2. They have Asrai archery, so no minus on the movement. Of course, you can't march and shoot, I guess. They are conjoined destiny. I don't understand this because I just don't get it. So if Naestra and Aaron have been reduced to less than 4 wounds at the end of any turn, they will be restored to 4 wounds. They only have 4 wounds. I don't know what I'm reading wrong here, but I just don't understand how they're not just dead. And it's just not like the dragon or the eagle left after that. So if one of y'all could explain it to me, I just could not figure it out. I'm going to be honest, it's my first time reading this book, and I just don't understand it. I read it earlier, and I just don't understand. Now, we have Sisters of Twilight, which close combat attacks from Naestra have a +1 to wound against models of Forces of Destruction, and then it's the other way around with Arahan. +1 bonus to wound for models of forces of order. So either way, they're going to be, one of them is at least going to be +1 to wound. We have special rules, which is natural armor for the dragon, forest spirit, soporific breath, fly 7. Then we have impetuous, so safe and hard. That's the dragon. Has to test in order to not to charge, almost like frenzy, because he's impetuous. All right, and then we have the fly rule 9 for the hunter's mount, which is the eagle, Gwendolor, which basically when they're mounted on Gwendolor, they roll all failed rolls to hit when making shooting attacks, which they have some interesting shooting attacks. Naestros is better. So Naestros is a missile weapon, 30-inch range, strength 5, armor piercing, flaming attacks, D6 multiple wounds. So that's scary. Then we have, oh, and if an attack from the talent causes 1 or more unsaved wound, they regain a single wound lost in earlier in battle. So there's that. So their wounds are together. I mean, they do have 2 wounds each, but their wounds are together. I just don't understand that other thing about if they finish with less than the wounds they have. I don't get it. Then we have the Talon of Dusk, which is Arahan's weapon, which is 30-inch range, strength 2, armor piercing, 2d6 shots, poisoned, and just armor piercing. So nothing too crazy. Naestra and Arahan, they are 175 points. So kind of cheap, but then you have to bring in the dragon for 320 points. So altogether, you're looking at close to 500 points for all of it. So I just don't see myself bringing these. It could be fun just trying them out, but I mean, 100 points on the eagle, I guess you could do that. And you have 275 points. You have this kind of like a scary little tandem. But yeah, if y'all could help me out, figure out what the hell this start losing all their wounds and being alive still thing is. I just don't understand it. All right, next up we got Naeth, the prophetess, high seer of Ethel Loren. Kind of an interesting little character. Movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, 2 wounds, 3 toughness 3, regular little wizard or sorceress or whatever. She's a level 2 wizard. She can use beast, life, light, heavens, hit shadow, and Ethel Loren. She does have the blessing, Elven Grace, Forest Strider. She has an owl that basically she selects a may settle on any unit of Wood Elves with a standard bearer, so they have to have a standard bearer. They can reroll hits of 1 with missile attacks this turn, and then they can't settle on the same unit twice. So the owl is not able to be killed unless Naeth is actually killed herself. So kind of cool. I mean, you could definitely use that. Elves are already pretty good at hitting. They're getting even more help, so that could be the difference in some stuff, making some stuff panic off or whatever, right? Then we have the Rod of Divination, which is what the ladies call me back in college. I'm just kidding. It's so stupid. The Rod of Divination gives Knight an extra power dice at the start of each magic phase, which is solid. All right, let's go down here and check out this stuff. By the way, if y'all get offended by my stuff, yeah, you should probably not watch my videos. All right, so we got Knight, the Prophetess, 170 points, and that's it. All right, next up we got a battle standard bearer hero, which his name is Lothlin the Brave, which will probably be replaced with Lothlin the Dead because. All right, so this guy can be infantry, or you can actually put him on a steed. You'll see here in a second. He's movement 5, weapon skill 6, strength 4, toughness 3, initiative 7, 3 attack, leadership 9. Good stuff, right? Elven Grace, Forest Rider, but he carries a BSB, a battle standard, and all enemy spells cast at a friendly unit within 12 inches can be automatically spelled on a roll of 5+. Sounds cool, right? Here's the deal, though. I think he's just gonna die right away, so I don't think it's worth taking him. I mean, you could put him on a horse and possibly save him 160 points, 174 if you want him on a horse, which is probably more favorable if you put him in with some like wild riders. I guess that'd be good. I mean, I don't even know why you would do that. I guess you would want to keep him safe, but he could probably get sniped out. I don't know. I could see maybe him having some worth, but I mean, if he's your BSB, he's gonna be kind of easy to kill. He has a 6-up armor save and a 6-up ward. Come on now. Unless you get Wysons or something. Either way, dude, he only has 2 wounds, and I just think that's gonna be kind of a. Also, if it was a 4+, why can't it be a 4+? Like, I mean, you're gonna take this guy. Why can't it be a 4+? Like within 12 inches. That's just stupid. I don't know. Make it 8-inch range and make it a 4+. How about that? I'd rather have that. 12+, 4 up is fine with me. It's just kind of silliness on some of these characters. I think in the future I might skip the characters, to be honest, guys, and just focus on the other stuff. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all like me reading these characters off, or do y'all want me to just read off like the core stuff and the regular units. I'd like your opinion on this. All right, we got Scarluck next. He's a scout, the hooded one, Mistwalker of Athaloran. Cool name, right? Uh, he's kind of got a double-edged sword thing going on here. So he is infantry. He has a force rider, Astrai archery, scouts, elven grace, strength 4, toughness 3, 3 attacks, 9 leadership, 7 initiative. Cool, right? He has a weapon that gives him always strikes first, armor piercing. Cool again. He has Asciendi's Bane, Astrai longbow. This weapon allows him to reroll all missed shooting attacks. However, if the shot still misses after this reroll, he suffers a strength 3 hit. So, come on. Why couldn't it be like a strength 2? But, Jesus. I mean, he'll probably kill himself. I don't know. I mean, is it worth it just to be able to reroll? I'd rather he just be able to reroll his stuff, or maybe reroll ones or something like that. But literally, it's just, oh God. So a malicious spirit dwells, and it's just too risky. It seems like. Let's see how many points he is. Garlock is 110 points, so he's pretty cheap. But I mean, dude, he might panic your guys off. I don't think it's worth taking him. I mean, he's all right, but I guess don't shoot your bow. Oh my God! I guess he would be hitting most things on 2, so I'll give him that. But chances of rolling 2 1s in a row are iffy, but it can be done. You could kill him in 1 turn and nothing will. I mean, I guess you'll have a 6-up war, but fat chance of saving that. Uh, I mean, it's just stupid. I don't get it. All right, y'all. I'm just gonna keep things real with y'all. Skull is a silly looking character. I mean, he's actually kind of cool. His stats are okay. I haven't looked at his points yet. I'll check that in a second. But I mean, he looks like a Harvey Birdman kind of thing, or I don't know, give me an elf name like, I don't know, Loras Birdman or something like that. Anyway, he's an infantry special character, weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 3. He has 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8. He has these falcons, 3 falcons that he sends out. So he may use his 3 falcons in addition to another missile weapon during the start of the shooting phase. And basically their line of sight regardless. Oh, the falcons can be directed against any enemy unit within line of sight regardless of range. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of got to watch out if you have any, like let's say a wizard on their own. Got to keep them out of line of sight. And basically, the enemy must take a weapon skill test for each falcon targeted to hit him. If not, it takes a strength 3 hit. So that's kind of interesting. He also got Elven Grace Force Strider, by the way. In addition, in close combat, the falcons give Skull an additional 3 attacks, resolve that weapon skill for strength 3, initiative 4. And no other special rules that Skull might have. Okay, now he does have a Lash of Claws, a magic weapon, gives him a strength bonus, so he's actually strength 5 and always strikes first. So not too bad on that. I kind of like that. In addition, if the victim is hit but not wounded, it is temporarily ensnared by 1 flail and loses 1 attack for the duration of the game. I mean, pretty good stuff. And then his armor is not that bad either. So he has a 3-up armor save versus in combat, and then 4-up. I mean, and a 6-up ward. So I guess he gets a 6-up ward, 2 6-up wards, or the force. Well, he's not a force spirit, is he? Force strike now. So he gets a 6-up ward, and he gets a 3-up, 4-up thing. So not too bad. Oh wait, that's only against missiles though, not in combat. So that part's not so great. Yeah, I mean that is what it is. I mean, if he has a higher weapon skill, he'll get killed pretty easily. But I guess his crazy. This guy looks ridiculous. It just looks ridiculous. I mean, good old Skull is only 85 points. Not bad for 85 points. Not gonna lie. You know what? It might be all right. Gwarth the Beastmaster is, in the future, I'll get a little better at these. Infantry, he rides a War Beast, which is Fang, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 attacks, and Claw. I guess he rides 2 of them, I guess. Flank. Oh, yeah, so he's got 2 War Beast. They both got strength 4, toughness 4, 2 attacks. And yeah, not too bad. Weapon skill 4. All right. What else we got here? He's a Beastmaster, animal form. So they got the animal form rules where they get the bear, the wolf, and all that stuff. So that's kind of nice. It's a mixed unit if he gets shot up. Forest Strider, Skirmishers, Beastmaster. During the movement phase, Fan Club may move away from Groth if they wish, forming a unit of their own. They may return to Groth and the remaining moves within 1 inch, as long as neither of them is fleeing, which leadership 5 is going to be kind of tough. I don't know why you would separate. While the wolves are more than 12 inches from where they are subject to frenzy, so they would get 3 attacks. If they are slain, Groth gets hatred. So, I mean, maybe if you send them off, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I guess if they come along with them, you might as well send them off and see if you can snipe some things off, or at least get them in the way. If both wolves are slain, and leadership 5, they're going to be charging shit left and right. Probably die. What's it called? Well, both are slain. Is hatred. We got animal hired cape. So basically, gives Groth the falling profile. In combat, he has a 1+6. 1+6 up. I don't know what that means. Oh, +1 to 6. Okay, got it. My bad. I was reading this wrong for homie then. So plus he has a 4 up armor save against missiles, and that's it. This guy in combat, he has a 6 up armor save, and then he has 5 up against missiles. So nothing too crazy. He also has the binding bolas. It's a magic weapon, basically armor piercing, multiple shots. Oh, it does have sniper. I do like that. 18-inch range. Hey, you know what? Might be strength 1. If a target has a unit strength or less and is hit but not slain, then it is temporarily entangled, cannot move in the next one. Entangled enemies may be left behind, counted as casualty, or in the case of the character, as if they had left the unit. I just bolos are kind of like those little. It's like that little thing where you throw and it's got like 2 rocks on it, or 2 stones, or I don't know, some kind of orbs, and then they kind of just wrap around somebody's leg or something like that. I don't know if that's explaining it, but I've seen them before. I think that's what they are. Warth is 75 points, so pretty cheap. I mean, you could basically get a unit of wolves and a little character for real cheap, not the worst thing in the world. And he's got a little shooting attack that's got sniper, which is unlikely to kill anybody, but I guess you could take him as chaff and a little hero. So I'll take that. And he has the animal form, so he could get strength 5. So not too bad. Not too bad. I'll take any skirmisher, so not too bad considering everything. So you can put him in with some skirmishers and send off some wolves to get in the way. Not too bad for 75 points. Not too shabby. We have the lore of Athel Loren. We have Verdurous Harmony, the lore attribute. Whenever a spell from the lore Athel Loren is cast on a friendly unit, that unit immediately recovers 1 wound, rounding up to 2 worth of models as described per the regrowth spell in the lore of life. So let's go check out lore of life regrowth. So regrowth augment spell, you get D3 plus 1 wounds worth of models slain earlier in battle. Cavalry counts as 2 models. Okay, so not too bad. So basically rounding up to 2, I guess, if you have cavalry. As a scrapper. So not too bad. I do like that. Once you cast something, you can restore some models. So that's kind of nice. That's always good with elves because they're expensive as shit. All right. Next, we got Tree Singing's cast on a 6+. Tree Singing is an augment spell, 24-inch range. If there are no units within the forest, it immediately moves up. If there are no units within the forest, it immediately moves up to D6 plus 1 inches. Inches. Or in a direction of your choice. The forest cannot move within 1 inch of other of units or other terrain features. So basically, you move a forest closer to your guys, which is kind of sweet. Basically, it helps you cast stuff and such, and also it can also help you. Like, let's say that you're going up against. So, for instance, you don't get rank bonuses when you're in the forest. So, if your enemy, has like, let's say you go up against Skaven, and you have like some what do you call it, Skaven slaves, it'll be decimating for them to have to be in a forest, right? And they won't get their rank bonuses. So something to think about that. So forest cannot move within 1 inch of the terrain of the units or terrain features. If there is at least 1 unit, friend or foe, within the forest does not move. Instead, choose a single enemy unit at least partially within the forest. And then that unit suffers 2d6 strength 4 hits. Man, all for 6+ to cast. The wizard can choose instead to have the spell target all forests within 12 inches and it's a 12 to cast. So that is a pretty cool signature spell. I'm not gonna lie, pretty cool. Fury of the Forest is cast on a 5+, 18-inch range. The direct damage is successfully cast. Spell causes D6 strength 4 hits. If the target is within 6 inches of a wood, then it is 2d6 strength 4 hits. The wizard can extend this to 36 ranges. If they do so, it's an 8+. So pretty solid, especially if you have a bunch of woods out on here, right? Yeah. So hopefully you do have forests. Can you summon more forests? I don't know if you can. I know you can move forests. So you can keep moving around the same forest, I guess. Then we got, so I guess you have to look at your placement whenever you are. I always have forests in my games. Like, they always show up, so I don't think it'll be a problem. So, and plus you get to, place your own, right? But if you only have one, it won't be the best thing in the world. Next, we got the Twilight Host, cast on a 6. These are all super low spells. So it's an augment spell with a range of 18 inches. To the next magic phase, caster's next magic unit causes fear. If the unit would already cause fear, it instead causes terror. In addition, the unit will count as having twice the unit strength it really has for the purpose of determining steadfast and outnumber. The wizard can instead choose to increase the range of this 36 inches for a 9+. So not too bad. Good for combat res. Good for giving you a little bit more combat res, in other words. The hidden pass, cast on a 7+. It's an augment spell with a range of 18 inches. The unit gains ethereal special rule until the start of the next magic phase. The unit becomes engaged in close combat. The spell ends, which, well, a lot of good that does. The wizard can, I guess, is good for shooting. And then they have to target you with magic, but that's still kind of a bummer that it goes away. Like, why does it go away? The wizard can choose to increase it 36 inches into 10+. I mean, why does it go away? I mean, it's for a limited time. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess you could say it's OP or whatever, but like, it's only for one round of magic. I mean, so stupid. The Madrigal. I mean, the best one is Tree Singing, I guess. Fury of the Forest is kind of good. I mean, it's 2d6 string 4 hits if somebody's within 6 inches of the woods. Yeah, whatever. Now maybe Straight Sing is better because it can block shit up and it can also give you more, +1 to your dispels and your spells, and that'll work for any lore, right? Not just Athel Loren, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure about that. Yeah, I wonder if you have to cast Athel Loren spells in order to get that. I think it's just +1 to dispel and spells. So, anyways, we have Madrigal Greening, 18-inch range. Place the forest. Here we go. Forest of your choosing, 18-inch range, no more than 12 inches in diameter, wholly within the spell's maximum range. Any models under this forest are placed within them in the exact same formation and facing. So, there we go. Now we're talking. Ariel's Blessing is next. That's a good one. 10+ to cast. This is an augment spell, range of 12 inches. The unit gains 4+ regeneration, special rule until the next magic phase. You can increase it to 24 inches. It's a 13+ to cast. We have Call of the Hunt next, 11+ to cast. It's an augment spell with a range of 18 inches. Until the start of the caster's next magic phase, you get +1 attack, except for mounts. If the unit is not engaged in close combat, it immediately moves forward towards the closest enemy unit using the random movement 2d6 special rule. I guess I don't know if that would be the best thing. I guess if you want it to be, I guess, yeah. So you get +1 attack. I mean, that'd be good for some like Wild Riders and stuff like that, except you want them to charge. Now if it counted them as having charged, I guess, that would be good. I guess if you had some Treekin, let's say you have some Treekin and you move them that way. Let's see, can you do Treekin? This one Treekin? Only 11+. I mean, 4 attacks on Treekin, toughness 5. Let's say you also get Wisens or something like that. Yeah, this would be good for like a keep Treekin or some Revenant, or those whatever Revenant and Tree Revenant or Wood Revenant. I can't remember the name of them. The ones that have that big ass bow. You can increase this to 36 inches and it'll be a 14+ a cast. We have the Spites of Athel Loren, which is some magic crap that you can take with these guys. Let's see what we got. We'll start down here. We have choosing spites. Spites are chosen in the same manner of magic gun. Oh, therefore each particular spite may only be chosen once in our. For example, you cannot have 2 models with a smart murder of spites in the same army. In addition, each character can only choose one. However, the models with the forest may also have any to limit of allowance. So characters can only choose one spite, but Forest Spirit can have multiple. So we have Blight of Terror, causes terror, 25 points. No, it's okay. Cluster of Radiance, Tree Ancients, and Branch Rays. Only a character with Radiant adds 1 extra dice to their Dispel pool. 1 extra dice to their Dispel pool in their opponent's magic phase. Pretty good. I like that. I'll take that over anything yet. And Annoyance of Netlings, 20 points. Strike a character with an annoyance of Netlings in close combat will suffer a -1 to hit. Pretty solid. I wonder if there's a regular magic item that's better. We have a Muster of Malevolence, 15 points. Shooting attack that can be used in addition to the model's other shooting attacks. Strength 2, 12-inch range, magical shots, poison, quick to fire multiple shots. That's okay. We have Pageant of Shrikes, 15 points. Shooting attack that can only be used in addition to the model's other shooting attacks. Strength 4, 18-inch range, slow to fire. Sniper. Oh, sniper's cool. I like that. Magical attack. So good for taking out some, or could be good for taking out some characters. We have a Befuddlement of Mischiefs, power level 3, bounce spell, magic missile, 18 inches. The target unit counts as having failed a stupidity test in their next turn. Pretty solid. That means they cannot move. They kind of, so that I like that. Only a 3+ a cast helps you get rid of your opponent's dice, and stupidity is no good. Here, let's go take a quick look at stupidity just to kind of go over what it means again. Unit contains must take a leadership test. So it's already taken and failed. In other words, the stupid unit cannot take any further action, cannot declare charges or make a shooting attack. However, a unit that has failure can still be forced to move or perform any action by a spell, special item, rule, or magic item until they pass a stupidity test. Against models that have failed their stupidity have immunity to psychology and random movement D6 special rule. So except that they can only move forward, so they can only go forward D6 inches. They cannot choose to do a combat reform, or so it can definitely. And wizards cannot attempt to chat. So you can cast this on a wizard and fuck them up if they're on their on foot or on their own. Right. That's pretty solid. Because you could do that. Let's say you have a character that's on something that you could target them, and they'd have to dispel that. They don't want their character missing a turn. You know what I mean? Just something to think about there. I like that one. That's a pretty cool little magic item. We have Lamentation of Despair. I wonder though if something's immune to psychology, it probably wouldn't be affected by that. So I guess there's that. We have the a lamentation of despair, 15 points. Innate bounce spell, power level 3. It's a direct damage spell of 12 inches. The target model must pass a leadership test or suffer D3 wounds, which ignores armor saves. Solid, 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 solid. So yeah, I mean, let's say it's a dragon or something that's got low leadership or something like that. You could start chipping away the wounds. Um, yeah, tough. We have a resplendence of luminescence. 10 points gives a character and any unit that join magical attacks. All right, not bad. Murder of Spites, 10 points. Murder of Spites, a close combat attack that can be used in addition to the model's other attacks. It's a strength 2 hit. It's random attacks, D6, poisoned, magical. Something. It's cheap. I mean, I guess it's extra. It could get you one more wound. Who knows? Now we're going to go to the heirlooms of Athel Loren. So we got actual magical weapons. We have the Spirit Sword, 60 points. Armor says cannot be taken against it. Furthermore, immediately when an enemy unit model that is not an animated construct or a character suffer one or more unsaved wounds from this, both they and the wielder must roll a 2d6 and add their respective leadership values. If the wounded model's total is higher or the total is the same, nothing else happens. If the wounded model's total is lower, it immediately suffers a wound, which ignores armor saves for each point by which it was told. So this could be really good if you're going against low leadership stuff. So pretty solid. Kind of expensive, but pretty solid. Basically, it's like Spirit Leech or some shit. Something like that. So it's a character, killer. But of course, it's expensive. But still, kind of cool. I like it. The Bow of Loren, 25. I mean, elves are higher leadership. You know what I mean? So we got the one model's total is higher. So yeah, leadership. That one's definitely going to do some damage. They have to prepare for that. The Bow of Loren, 25 points. That's right, longbow. All shots from the bow resolve at strength 4. Multiple shots, attacks +1. Kind of cool. Multiple shots attack means the bow fires a number of shots equal to the attacks. Exactly what I said. It cannot fire enchanted arrows. So pretty solid for 25 points. Basically, you might have like 4 or 5 shots at strength 4. Not bad. So we have the Helm of the Hunt, 40 points. Basically, it's a 6-up armor save against. Basically, it just adds +1 against everything. Gives you Frenzy, Forest Spirit, Devastating Charge. Okay, so it gives you some stuff. Yeah. So I add 1 attack. Of course, you got to be careful with that. 4 Spirit, so you get a 5 award, and then 5 of 6 award, depending on if you get magic or not. And then you get Devastating Charge, which gives you +1 attack on the charge. We have the Rhymer's Harp, 60 points. A Talisman gives a 5+ ward save, and Strider. Special rules. Strider, if I'm not mistaken, well, let's just look it up. I can't remember exactly what Strider does. Does that mean you just you don't take Dangerous Terrain? Yeah, so you don't take Dangerous Terrain. Oh, wait. Models of this area treat that piece of terrain as open ground for the purposes of movement. Ignore any movement penalties or dangerous terrain. So yeah, you don't have to worry about dangerous terrain, I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. All right. So pretty cool. 5 award save plus and dangerous terrain. You don't have to take dangerous terrain. I guess if you like, go over like a fence or something, which trust me, I've been killed by fences, cavalry and shit like that. We have Kalingor's Stay, 15 points as a street singing spell. When casting a street singing spell, the bearer may re-roll the distance the forest moves or the number of hits it inflicts. Kind of solid. I like that. Um, Not bad for 15 points. I mean, that'll be good for a wizard. Only 15 points. We have Moonstone of Hidden Ways, enchanted item, 35 points. If the bear is wholly within a forest at the end of your movement phase and is not in close combat, it can forest walk. If it does so, remove it from the battlefield and immediately replace it wholly within any forest in the battlefield in the same formation, but facing any direction. A forest unit walking cannot be placed in 1 inch of any enemy unit or impassable terrain. A unit that forest walk counts as having march in the movement phase. So that could really come in handy, but I mean that's kind of cool. So basically that's kind of cool because it's the bear's unit, but it has to be a smaller unit. Okay, so next we got the let's go back up here. The Bow of Loren, 25. Did I already do this one? Yes, I did. Let's go down here. Hail of Doom Arrow, of course, 35 points. One use only. Model with the Astrai bow only. The Hail of Doom Arrow can be used instead of making a shooting attack with the barrel's Astrai longbow. Declare the hell it's being used. It's 3d6, string 4 shots, 30-inch range. Pretty solid. It cannot be used with sniper rolls. So that makes sense. The Banner of the Eternal Queen is 55-point standard. The bearer has magic resistance. The bearer has magic resistance 3 special rule. In addition, once per game, all models in the same unit as the Banner of the Eternal Queen have unbreakable special rule until the end of that turn, or until the bearer is slain, whichever comes first. Declare you are using this ability to start your turn. I think it's just going to be too easy to kill the BSB, so I don't know if that's worth it. We have the Banner of the Hunter King, 30 points, magic standard. Unless you have, I don't know if there's any unit that has that you can use 50 or more points on. All models in the same unit, the Banner of the Hunter King, have Vanguard deployment special rule. In addition, the bearer unit reroll their first failed charges against it. Be solid on some Wild Riders. Be cool. So I like that one. Pretty good because you could take it on a normal bearer, so you don't have to have a BSB under. So I like that. In fact, that's probably the one that it's for them. Other than that, I think we are done. Let me tell you some of the things I liked. I love Wild Riders. I really like Way Watchers. In fact, let's go down here because it's easier to see them. The Forest Dragon's kind of cool too. I mean, I like that they have that basically -3 thing. The tree. I like a lot of things about this army. I like a lot more about it than the Beastmen, which is my last one. Forest Dragon solid. We'll just go into Treeman is awesome. I love the Treeman. I think he'll die, but pretty awesome. The Eagles are solid. The Sylvan Hunters were pretty cool. They're a little too expensive, but they're pretty darn cool. I do like what they can do. They're kind of cool. I will say that the Sisters of the Thorn, pretty cool. I like that they got that Curse of the Anri here. I think this is a perfect thing for your enemy to have to dispel it, and then you can cast your other stuff like Bison's Wild Form or something like that, which is really what you want to get off, right? Or the one that maybe moves Treekin into another forest. That'd be sweet. We have Way Watchers, which are pretty awesome, just super expensive. I like that they have basically killing blow on they have the lethal shot, which is pretty solid. Yeah, I would definitely take a unit of these just to keep that. It depends how much you can afford, but 22,000, 2,500 point game, yeah, you can use even a small unit of them. They're super expensive, but yeah. We have Spite Revenants. I do like these guys, but I think I'm kind of like, oh wait, no, these weren't the ones I'm talking about. I'm thinking of the Treekin and the other guys, the Sylvan Hunters. I think that's the one. Yeah, these are guys with the great weapon. Yeah, I was confusing these two. These with the what do you call it? The ones I was just looking at. I can't even think of their names. The Revenants. The Sylvan Hunters, I think they'd be a lot of fun to play. I think they'd be cool. Yeah, I think they'd be fun to play, especially with that bowl. That'd be cool. But it seems like just having a unit of 6 Treekin just there, or at least three of them, and moving them around would be kind of fun. But it'd be fun to play with both of them. Maybe a unit of each, see how they kind of just like work together. One is a little more offensive, the other one's defensive, and then putting Weisson's Wild Form on and just watching them just your opponent just have a hard time with them. I like the Wood Elves on their own, like the units on their own, unlike other armies, are kind of like, for instance, like you take like a vampire count army or something like that. You have, of course, you have lords, which are just like really, really killy. But then you have other armies where they have solid units, and I mean these Wood Elves need to work holistically. I think they'll have a hard time. They're super expensive. Um, they'll have a hard time, on their own. I think like the Weight Watchers not going to win the game on their own, but they'll probably take something out. The Sisters can probably take, do okay. They have to work together with the Magic, right? Because you'll have to like get Weissons off, and then the Weissons you'll have to get off on the Treekin or something else. I'd say the most solid thing in the whole army is the Wild Riders. I really like the Wild Riders. These Spite Revenants are okay. These Tree Revenants are kind of okay. They can be pesky, both of them. I think I'll take the Spite ones because they're cheaper and they just they're I think they were stubborn. Is that what it was? They have hatred. That's what it was. The Warhawk Riders are about the worst thing I've seen in any book. Absolutely useless. The altars are kind of cool. The Treekin are awesome. Um, I mean, let's say you put regeneration on. Of course, they're flammable or whatever. But let's say you put a ward on them with lower life or whatever. I think you can put one on them. Then you're talking. You have a Treekin with a 5 award that isn't going down to a 6 up with magic, and 4 up armor save. I mean, it's scary. Chariot, it's kind of cool to have a little chariot in there. Just have some impact hits. A little pricey, but if you put a couple of extra guys under at 80 points, something to deal with. Wild Riders are the shit. They're scary. 3 attacks each. I mean, they have +1 attack because devastating charge, and they have frenzy. I mean, that's 12, 16 attacks on the charge with 5 of them. That's at strength 5. That is scary. And let's say you put that banner that I talked about earlier. I like the way I'm doing this now because now I forget so much when I just go in order. I like looking up what they have, what they can get, but I like that banner that can help them out. And I already forgot. I say that and I already forgot what it did, but I know I was going to use them specifically on the Wild Riders because they don't have to take a BSB with them. I have to do it. You know what? Let's go back and look at it because I already done forgot. What the hell? Ain't that southern? Come on. I know I'm from Texas, but I ain't that much of a hick. Here, let's go back here because I do what I want. Where is it? It's like page. You know what? I'm looking way too far up. It's going to be page 165 or so, something like that. Here we go. Yeah, let's look at that banner one more time. Not the Eternal Queen one, but the banner of the Hunter King. So you can, yeah. So they have Vanguard. I mean, they have Vanguard. You can get Vanguard and really fuck some shit up, and then you can reroll your first failed charge. I mean, come on, that's solid. Of course, you can't charge in the first when you Vanguard, but at least you can play. I mean, they are fast cap, so you could really do some damage with some Wild Riders. Let's say a unit of 10 of them with one of these standards. I like that. Like I said, it's a holistic thing with these guys. I've heard some bad things about these Wood Elves, but I think it'd be fun to play with them. They're not as ugly as I think the Beastmen are worse. I thought they got better, but I feel like the Beastmen got worse, or not worse. They didn't get better. That's all. I feel like they kind of got shafted again. It looks like some stuff was nerfed with these Wood Elves. I can't be too specific because I don't know them that well, but I think from the last time I played them, it looks like some things were nerfed. As far as lords and all that go, I mean, I really like the what's his name? Oh my God, Durthu, the Treeman Ancient. I think he's cool as shit. Cool ass name. That one character, not a big deal. Eagles are cool. Here, let's go official here. Sisters are cool. Weight Watchers are cool. Where are we at? What's next? Sprite Revenants. We already went through that one. Tree Revenants. Altars are cool. I mean, this is the cool concept. I like that they have different stuff. Warhawk Riders are terrible. And then War Dancers. Yeah, I could do without them. Just didn't think that they were really worth it. Too easy to shoot up. Wildwood Rangers. I mean, they're too easy to shoot up. Kind of pointless. Glade Riders, pretty cool, pretty solid for fast cavalry. Gonna get shot up though. Dryads, they're okay. They're okay. Not great, but they're okay. Pretty good. Pretty expensive. I wish they were like 10 points a model, but um, yeah, combat res. I mean, I guess you could put them in the Eternal Guard. I mean, they got a 6 up armor, 5 up armor save at best, and yeah, I mean, at least they're stubborn, but too expensive or expensive. I don't know. I think I'd rather just take some. I mean, I guess they're like spearmen. Whatever. You can just take them just because they're stubborn. Deepwood Scouts, pretty expensive. But I guess you could take a little unit. Glade Guard, of course, you probably want to take like 2 units of these at least, maybe for a bunker or something like that. Now, maybe the Eternal Guard for a bunker, I'm not sure. For a sorceress, maybe this for a level 2, one of these, or a unit of 20 or a unit of 10. And then the Arch Revenant were kind of cool. Branch Waste was kind of cool. Waste Stalker, kind of cool. Shadow Dancer, kind of cool. Well, Shadow Dancer was okay. No. Shadow Dancer's okay, but I hate this thing about that they have to be upgraded. I thought the branch race was going to be cool, but I don't like that you have to upgrade it. I'm just like, man, come on. Why couldn't it be like before? Spell Singers, I mean, it's just a caster. Glade Captain's it's a hero. Glade, same with the Lord. I wasn't too enamored by any of these guys except Orion was great. The Prophetess was okay. Lawson sucks. I wouldn't take Maestra or an Arahan. Drika's okay. I did like her one little rule about the forest there, and definitely take a Treeman. I would take a Treeman over a Treeman Ancient probably. I'd rather take 2 or 3 if I'm going to take a Dalendor. I just didn't really see a point in taking them, and I think that's it. Aeroloth, I didn't see. Yeah, here's that weird one. I think it's just going to be too easy to kill him. Ariel seems okay, but I think she's going to be kind of easy to kill. Orion, I would definitely take because it's just metal. Anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed my review of the Wood Elves Warhammer Armies project army book. It was a fun one to look to. I really thank y'all for making these recommendations. If y'all want to recommend the next one, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to try to go back and cut this up. If it's too hard, I may change things up because there was a lot of pauses. So until I get this whole thing a little better, down a little bit better, we'll see what happens. Really appreciate anybody that takes the time to watch my stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below if you like this. Like the video. Don't forget to hit the little thumbs or the little bell in order to see notifications of future videos and all that jazz. Hope you all have a good one. Take it easy.